man. This is incredible.
Oh, wow.
Huh?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Hey, man, grab me a meat stick. I think I can reach it if I just a little more. Just let me go a little. I can't. Just a little more. I almost got it. Careful! Oh, God. No, come on, just reach. Reach. Just grab my hand. I can't hold it. Grab my hand.
Give me the meat stick. This other hand's closer. The one with the stick is... Oh!
Nothing cuts quite like a memory, especially one that you're trying to forget. But I can't find the energy to rewind and reset. You build up to break me down. like I am. Well, I know you know that like it's colder, colder when I'm older, older than I am. And I know you know that I have lost composure, but I'll hold you closer while I can. I never told you that I'm slightly broken, that I might lose focus when I am. I know you know that life gets colder, colder when you're frozen over like I am. Go on myself. I'm cold steel stainless. My glass half full. Always said don't suffer no fools. Serpents, daydream. I bite, you call me lovely. Got a sweet tooth. I'm gonna get the sugar from you. When they say I'm a machine gun, I take it as a compliment. Honey, you should know I can be a weapon. I can be a weapon. Come cold blood, selfish. Your words are painless. I like when I drive and feel so dangerous. They say I'm a red flag, 'cause they want it so bad. You should know.
Well, hello and good evening, and welcome back to Rocket League here on the NECC. I am Captain Etsoka, joined by none other than Mr. Bepic. Bepic, how are we feeling today here for the NECC?
Feeling great. Making my NECC debut tonight. It feels good. I've been keeping up with the NECC for a long time now. A lot of great competition within the conference. Finally, I get to watch some of it live in the caster booth. So I'm feeling great at Soka. It's going to be a good night.
You see, I didn't even realize this was your NECC debut.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you've been in the scene for so long and you put on so much for Rocket League. I just assumed that you were on the NECC before, but welcome, you know, again, a great asset to the team for sure. If y'all don't know Mr. Bepic, dude really holds it down for Rocket League. Some of the best in the business. But with that being said, we have some matches on the docket tonight. And as a matter of fact, we're starting off with something interesting. We're going to be starting off with Division 5. That there is interesting to me because I feel like the D5 doesn't get a lot of love on stream. So tell us what we got scheduled for tonight, Bepic.
I'm hyped for this one. Now, you know, D5, it gets tense down there. I've coached teams in Division 5 of the NECC. So we're watching Midland University taking on Illinois Wesleyan tonight. And in all honesty, I mean, this is a 3rd seed versus 6th seed matchup in the quarterfinals of the single elim conference or divisional playoffs. And so it's single elim, high pressure, and this is the first time these two teams have met up this season because you're meeting a team that played in the opposite side of your particular region of the division when you enter playoffs. So honestly, I really don't know what to expect.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this, especially like as I was saying, you know, Division 5 doesn't get a lot of love, so it's going to be really cool to see them on stream. And then not only that, we get to see how the rest of the bracket will shape up because, again, a lot of implications tonight being that it's the quarterfinals.
Right? Single elim from here on out. It's time to put up or shut up in the NECC and time to pull an upset. If you are Illinois Wesleyan against the Midland team that did go 5-2 in the regular season, it's actually a pretty similar record within their sides of the region. So even records, similar standing, similar game differential. Let's see who can separate themselves though on the pitch.
Already you can see Midland starting off very quickly. Big demo to open up the net. Not a lot to capitalize on just yet, but however, I do like the initial push coming from Midland. A lot of aggression, some big demos now going the way of Illinois Titans. And I gotta tell you, they are bringing the ruckus a little early here, Bepic.
And I would expect that. I'm familiar with Kenyon. I've watched his progression a little bit. Former student at Cumberland University, who is a top esports program. So I'm sure a good bit of experience gained there for Kenyon. And leading the charge for Illinois Wesleyan. We'll see what they can get as they advance down the pitch here. Second try in the offensive zone, and that's a creative pass that is cut down by Cam. Really good interception, good awareness of what Illinois Wesleyan was trying there.
Take a look at this. Midland again bringing that pressure, and I really like what they're bringing. They're definitely trying to push past that midfield line with some authority. Speaking of Kenyon, the person you were just talking about, nearly able to take the goal solo, but was stopped by the defense. I gotta say though, I am impressed with Kenyon's solo mechanics so far.
One of the highest ranks in the lobby. I was doing some peep-in before the series started, so to be expected, his on-ball ability already is making an impact, but that defense of Midland so far has been extremely effective. They're getting good reads on the ball, making good contact on their goal line, and not really setting up any kind of secondary chances for that Illinois Wesleyan offense. And here we go, opposite side of the pitch. NECC could be scoring first. Midland's on the board.
Yeah, and we were talking about Kenyon with their solo prowess, but at the end of the day, we're in the 3v3 mode here, and it's all about the teamwork and the pass plays that will win the games. Midland on the board first with the pass play coming out from the corner, and Midland, they have been peppering the net time and time again. It was just a matter of time before one fell.
Clean play out of the corner as well, looking for that immediate bump on the Illinois Wesleyan goal line. That was Sway that nabbed that, and here they are again. Full boost, slamming the ball off the orange backboard, and a nice bump going the other way. That's a Midland player taken out of the infield before that play could get too dangerous, so Illinois Wesleyan saying they can get involved in the physical side of the series too, but at the moment it is still just that Midland first goal. It's our lone score on the board about halfway through game one.
I know, that's crazy. You would think at this point there'd be another goal on the board, and that will be it right before halftime. I had a feeling, Bepic, I felt it in my bones that another goal was coming, and sure enough, there it is. This time it falls for Illinois.
Felt it like the rain was arriving. He knew it was coming right there. And Illinois Wesleyan, despite all the defense, they find a way to quickly move down the pitch there and convert on one of their counterattacks, which they started off this game with a lot of opportunities in offense, slowed down a little bit, collected themselves defensively, and now they're on the board. So game one is really going here, and it's only a best of 5. Some NECC quarterfinals are best of 7s in higher divisions, but down here it's only best of 5s in quarters. So just like you've been playing all the rest of the season, you want to start strong.
Absolutely. Just over 2 minutes left to go. Big clear coming from NECC, going the other way. Sway able to get the pass out to the mid, and camped, not able to get it to go, but a good idea for the pass play, now going the other way and saved by Sway.
Kenyon does beat Cam right there, but again, that backline defense of Midland, despite the smoke and mirrors of the Illinois Wesleyan offense, are getting good reads, though low on boost now. In the corner, Sway secures their 100, but downfield, Blitz takes over and is out 50, giving Sway some more time on the ball before bumping Sway out of the play. That's nicely done by Illinois Wesleyan, but they're running low on resources, so Midland move in, take a top shelf shot, and take their lead right back.
And what a drop here. This was an angle. This was a heck of an angle. At first, I'm thinking, you know what, that pass might just be a little bit too high, but not for Sway. They are able to teardrop that one right down and in, getting their lead back with 1:30 remaining.
With about even possession now, Midland have just elevated themselves a little bit over Illinois Wesleyan, I think, with their playmaking ability. And that backline defense for both sides, you compare it, Midland has been a lot more consistent. As at times it's gotten a little bit weird for Illinois Wesleyan, double commits, awkwardly low boost situations, but they've survived, kept this a manageable game one. Now they can operate their offense again, and upfield, given a lot of extra space on that ball. Out in front of that blue net, Blitz took the play over, but again was stopped by Midland.
Yeah, Cam came in clutch there, and that was a tough read too. Whenever, I don't care who you are, whenever you get in those 1v1 situations and you're defending in the net, things get tricky. So Cam came in clutch, was able to clear that one out. Now trying to mount a counterattack is Illinois. Big demo there to clear things up as this one goes up and high, but it's not going to be any good, Bepic.
Not good, and it leads to a clear for Midland here. So a failed attempt again for Illinois Wesleyan, and 2 players fly past the ball with no contact made. That could have been really bad. Could have put game 1 on ice, but Kenyon does recover the ball at their line, though Midland's still operating their offense right now, killing clock extremely well, and that 50-50 will kill more of it, though slowly advancing now is Illinois Wesleyan, and Kenyon got an opportunity to tie us up late, but skied the shot a little bit too high. It leads to a clear for Midland. And Illinois Wesleyan now have to operate on 0 seconds, and Kenyon off the backboard tested Cam there defensively, but Cam passed with flying colors, and Midland takes game 1.
Yeah, and a truly phenomenal performance starting out from Midland, and honestly both teams, because it was still a relatively close game. And then when you look at the stats, it's even closer. I mean, we're looking at 7 shots from Midland. Meanwhile, you got 7 coming from Illinois. So again, even shot count there, difference only being 1 goal. But still, the one thing that I really have to point out there is the extra save, or rather the 2 extra saves, but really it's the 2 assists that got me thinking, because Illinois Titans, they got their 1 goal, but it was a solo goal, whereas both goals from Midland came off the pass play.
And that back line of Midland as well definitely won them that game, because Illinois Wesleyan, they've shown kind of their win condition already in this series. They're relying on Kenny to be kind of a space creator for their offense, and then Blitz and Tiny Spider follow up the play well. Maybe you look for an assist that you didn't get in game 1 to turn the tides there in the second game, but getting past that Midland back line is the puzzle for Illinois Wesleyan to try and figure out, because Midland all around the pitch were a solid roster. Good saves on their goal line, good transitions out. I think both their goals came in their transitions to offense. And so if they keep that up, they're in a really good position, because so far they have been the more complete team.
Yeah, and not only that, but I think it comes down to like the tiniest of details. Like, I feel like Midland are winning more of the 50-50s, and it's just by like an angle, maybe a pixel. But it feels like the 50-50s are kind of falling more in their favor. Now, could that be luck, or could it be a little bit of extra finesse? Only time will tell as we continue on here in game 2. Midland up in the series 1-0.
Bit of a giveaway out in front. Illinois Wesleyan trapped on their goal line again, and that's a miss from Kenyon. So Sway sets up Cam, but not an easily read ball, with a lot of cars flying past the rock, but no one actually making contact. So again, close shave for that Illinois Wesleyan defense, and they might be suffering a close shave again, though this time it does lead to a cut. Cam makes it 1-0.
Cam QT able to take that one on and in. And again, beautiful pass by Sway. I mean, they were double contested in the corner, still able to kind of weave through the defenders and get that pass out to the mid, and you really can't ask more from a teammate.
Now Midland still playing solid on both sides of the ball, even when it gets a little bit sketchy, a little bit chaotic. They keep their composure and find ways to score. And now Sway off the ceiling, almost scored what would have been the greatest goal we'll probably see tonight. But the rebound's put off the crossbar, and Midland, despite a phenomenal setup, come away empty for now.
And if I'm not mistaken, it was Sway that was able to get that backboard read there in game number 1. So I'm expecting them to hit another one like that eventually in the series. They nearly had it there. Let's see if they could try again. Cam gonna take this one the other way off the backboard. Opportunity for Sway, and it's not gonna be any good, but it's going to be an epic save there coming from Illinois as the defense keeps this one at a 1-0 spread.
This is only getting worse for Illinois Wesleyan at the moment. Midland are pressing every advantage that they kind of pressed on in game 1, even harder here. Better possession, better attempts on net, and it feels like that second one is inbound, but not before Kenyon finds an equalizer himself.
There we go. That's what we want to see from Illinois, a little bit of a counterattack and a beautiful Doomsy coming off the backboard there. Kenyon again on the solo plays, but you know, you got to ask yourself, how far is that going to take them as we have ourselves a tie ball game? And I don't know about you, Mr. Bepic, but I am getting a little deja vu.
A little bit. Illinois Wesleyan's just kind of surviving in those counterattack modes, with Kenyon on the ball, setting up a lot of room, and then defensively are really being tested by Midland. But caught out with that ball in between a couple of players. Sway is forced to play the ball backwards. So Midland again operate from that goal line where they've seemed comfortable so far in this set, but they don't operate there too long. It's a quick clear and a shot the other way, just shy of being on target. Cam has a rebound attempt, but Blitz is there for a block.
Yeah, and that was a good read there by Iwu coming out of the net because, again, I can't tell you how many times I've seen players just kind of sit in the net and wait for the ball to get to them. Iwu just went straight after the ball and stopped it before a shot was even put on target. So, again, great heads-up defense by Iwu. But at the end of the day, the defense might not win you the game. You have to put shots on target. Let's see if Illinois has what it takes to start putting pressure onto the Midland defense.
Two great challenges taken by Sway, and clean one the first, and then the second one was a dominant 50-50 that pushed Illinois Wesleyan back again. Tiny Spiders not made contact there on the ball, and so Blitz is in a weird spot. This is a bit of an open look for Midland, and Sway has been their finisher throughout this series so far. Right now, another shot right above crossbar level to put Midland up.
Yeah, and a great pass by Norick as well. And, you know, like we had mentioned earlier, Sway has just been phenomenal off the backboard with these reads, being able to drop them in. But at the end of the day, it's always coming off of a pass. You know, it's always lined up perfectly. So this team dynamic that Midland has is definitely working so far.
And you were talking about deja vu earlier. This really does feel like deja vu with Midland taking a lead off of a big-time Sway finish. But with 2 minutes, I'm not sure this one-goal lead is going to remain intact unless Midland are able to add to their advantage. They're trying to here. Out in front, Ken makes a nice stop, but Sway is there in the corner for a follow. Drop down ball is a setup for Norick, but no contact made as the defense converges. And Illinois Wesleyan, they're surviving right now. They're keeping this game manageable, but they still need another.
Yep, that they do. Time continuing to tick away for Illinois as they try and equalize. And right now it's not much doing because, like I said earlier, you know, it just feels like those 50s, the contests are falling in the favor of Midland, especially at that midfield line. And that's where they take a lot of control. And as we saw from game number 1, you know, Midland, they're good at taking possession and taking more time off the clock.
Kenyon's been interfered with. Cam up in front. It's getting physical there on the Illinois Wesleyan side, and it leads to a Sway goal not too shortly thereafter. 3-1 Midland. They're starting to run away with things.
Yeah, that was a little iffy. Again, you know, you got 2 defenders in the net, but at the end of the day, like, you know, the quick calls can only be so quick. You know, both defenders jumped for the same ball, ended in a double commit. And it's unfortunate. It really is because, you know, you could call I got it, but in those situations, you got to be really, really quick. And it's just a shame that, you know, they couldn't really communicate that in time in order to avoid the dreadful double commit. But here we are, just under a minute remaining and a 2-goal lead now for Midland.
He's trying to take this ball and push the envelope downfield, but it's 50'd out into space. There Midland go again, winning that 50-50 game. Playing it out into a bit of open room down the sideline, and they'll turn that into a clear, and a bunch of clock sapped off the timer here. 30 seconds left. Otherwise, Illinois Wesleyan, if they can't bring this 2-goal deficit back, will have to reverse sweep a Midland team that has only found more control as we've played deeper into this series. Field domination was 50-50 coming out of the last game, and here we have spent 65% of nearly 5 minutes a game, too, in that orange Illinois Wesleyan side. So that's got to change going forward. Otherwise, Midland will make quick work of their quarterfinal.
Yeah, well, I think that'll just about do it here in game 2 as the final seconds tick away against Illinois. The final second now gone off the clock, and that'll just about do it. Midland come away with their second game win of the series.
And again, they turned what was already a complete performance in game 1 into an even better look in the second game. They've continued to improve. They improved their possession numbers. They improved the lethality of their shots on target, their total shots on targets, and Illinois Wesleyan had a tough time keeping up. And again, it's just kind of Kenyon as the main space creator, because Illinois Wesleyan, when they don't have him on the ball, don't seem to be able to escape from their back line as easier. And Blitz and Tiny Spider have shown glimpses of what they can do on the ball, but it seems more difficult for them to take control. And so if one of them, I think, can step up and do a little bit better with their ball possession, then there's a way back for Illinois Wesleyan here, but they need more offense.
Yeah, they really do. And, you know, again, I want to harp on to the pass plays, because every single goal, all 3 goals coming from the side of Midland, came off the pass play. And speaking of, I got to give a shout out to Sway. Well-deserved MVP, had 2 goals and a pass of their own for a 100% goal participation. Sway was absolutely popping off on game number 2. And unless Illinois managed to find a way to kind of slow him down or slow them down, I mean, I don't see this going their way. Sway, again, has just been absolutely consistent for those first 2 games and has been, like you had even said, the finisher for Midland.
Definitely, man. If they get any kind of space, they're sending Iwu kind of scrambling on that orange goal line. And here we go again. It's Cam and Norek moving up together. A bit of a double commit there on the orange goal line, but it's all right. Sway will buy time and keep this offense rolling for Midland. That is now their 6th goal of this series, and it comes really shortly into the beginning of Game 3.
Yeah, and look at the tee off there. Just carried it right into the middle. Sway not only can score them, but can set them up too, and then Cam just drove it right on home. Midland with an early 1-0 lead.
Good comms, good awareness. That play started with a double commit, mind you. And Sway still kept possession, kept the ball close, and re-invited their teammates back into the play. Didn't just turn it into a neutral 50-50 and then hope their teammates followed up nicely. They set that up and stalled in the air to get their teammates back involved in the play. And that's the kind of teamwork that Midland has flashed this entire best of 5, and they've used it to nab an early advantage that could be taken away with a counterattack downfield. Illinois Wesleyan have some possession here. What can they build off of it? It's a shot that goes a little bit awry. Tough to get on frame, but still a decent look for Illinois Wesleyan to maybe build off of in the future.
And keep in mind, only a minute gone so far here in Game 3. Still plenty of time. Oh my goodness, I was going to say plenty of time for Illinois to score 1, but now they're going to have to score 2. Midland find another.
Oh, this is devious from Cam right here. Comes off the backboard, knows that shot is high, and just stuffs it in right there off crossbar level. You heard the dink to confirm it. It was going off the crossbar, and that was definitely staying out if Cam wasn't there to pancake it on in for the Midland's 2nd goal. Clean finish, and Tiny Spider's just gone flying past the ball, inviting a passing play downfield. This could be 3 for Midland. Sway and Norek send a shot off the crossbar. That time around, Cam wasn't in the area to send it in.
Yeah, you could tell Midland are really feeling themselves now. They are in their groove because they are connecting on these passes. They're hitting their shots, and they are playing very consistently. Like little to no hesitation coming from Midland whenever they decide to commit to the ball. And that is why the ball continues to fall in their favor time and time again. Another great 50 out towards the mid, and they just keep applying that pressure as they look to try and score yet another time.
Sway got a flip reset there as well, elevating their mechanical ability in offense. It was an air dribble to set up that first goal. Simple play for the second one, but the third might be a mechanical masterclass or just simple passing play. Either way, Midland have such a dynamic offense. That third could come from anywhere. They've got plenty of time to put it in, but Illinois Wesleyan on the demo upfield that is countered quickly with a clear downfield, and Illinois Wesleyan end up putting that ball in themselves. A bit awkward there defensively.
Yeah, I wasn't sure because it happened so fast towards the end. I was wondering how that happened, but that, yeah, again, feels bad. But, I mean, unfortunately, I mean, we do take those. Midland, they're going to take that. A goal is a goal. So Midland now with a 3-0 lead, and we haven't even reached the half yet. All momentum looking in the favor of Midland right now.
Campbell beat Kenyon, just further exacerbating the issues of the Illinois Wesleyan defense, inviting Sway in for another flip reset catch off of a corner bounce, though that's a fast counter. Kenyon upfield was ready for that ball, put a good shot on target, but it is saved by Midland, and there isn't any kind of secondary opportunity for Illinois Wesleyan. There's possession, but no immediate rebound chance. They have to reset and now have nearly lost the midfield battle to Midland. Have with that Sway 50-50 is they press the issue downfield and are looking for a 4th now. Midland want this series over and done with before Game 3 even ends.
Yeah, and I really can't blame them. Again, you really want to make a statement when you're, in the quarterfinals, right? You're trying to make your way all the way to the top. You want to make your way all the way to the grands. So you want to let everybody know that is ahead of you that you are taking this seriously. And I think that's the statement that Midland is making here tonight. If they can continue to hold on to their 3-goal lead, they are going to be moving on as 1:35 tick against Illinois Titans, who have yet to find one here in Game 3.
3 shots, which is better than the first couple of minutes of play. They were held without a shot for, I think, the first half of Game 3. So it's improving for Illinois Wesleyan, but they need several goals ASAP. Otherwise, they are done. Their NECC season is over. And With 70 seconds on the clock, you look to your star, your main space creator, to get you going. And Kenya has been stopped and all their boosts sapped by Midland here, who just keep possession going. Field domination's at 60-40 in favor of Midland, and there has been more possession for Illinois Wesley in the last couple of minutes, but it's not been enough to develop a shot that's really going to get you back here in this series in Game 3. And, well, Midland scored another. This one is just about over.
Yeah, I feel comfortable saying that. Now, I'm Captain Castor's Curse is one of my many nicknames, but I still feel pretty confident saying that Midland should take this one. And that was one cheeky bump there. Good bump play coming from Midland in order to secure the 4th goal. And like you had said, probably securing their win here tonight as Kenyon tries to at least get one on the board, but this Midland defense has just been all over the ball with just about 30 seconds remaining. Illinois Titans still looking to try and get one.
Kenyon has plenty of boost now, and blitz mid, looking for a pass potentially. Just go straight for the net, and Sway has that read. He's been able to match a lot of these mechanical solo efforts from Kenyon nicely. A couple of consecutive reads on what Kenyon was trying there to close things out here in Game 3. It'll be a sweep for Midland here. They will advance to the semifinals of their region's playoff bracket. Congrats to them. That is a tough feat. It's not easy to get through the NECC nowadays as Collegiate Rocket League gets more and more competitive at all levels. But Midland survive and advance without really too much sweat on their brow.
Yep, not too much, but just the right amount as they managed to come through to get the dub and, of course, to move on. Like I said, they had a statement to make tonight, and they definitely came out and made one. I mean, you could tell this is a team that isn't just looking to get past the quarterfinals. They're looking to go the entire distance, and they might just do it, Bepic.
They showed a lot of good looks, and dynamic offenses like what Midland used to beat Illinois Wesleyan here are what can upset the higher seeds. And Midland is a 3rd seed in this bracket, so they will have to pull upsets more than likely from here on out, as they should, on paper, have the 2 seed in the next round of the bracket. But we'll see what happens in the NECC. Like I said, you never know what is going to transpire, as CRL is so competitive nowadays, even in Division 5. I mean, it is very hard to win matches at every single level.
Got to give a big shout out there, of course, to Midland and for Illinois for giving us a great game number 1, but also a big shout out to Wenzel's Farm. Fuel your game with Wenzel's Farm snack sticks. No mess, no distraction, just bold protein packed flavor to keep you locked in. Whether you're grinding ranked or leading the squad, Wenzel's keeps you powered up. Grab a stick, stay in the game, crush the competition. Wenzel's Farm, fuel for gamers, flavor for champions. And with that, a big shout out to Wenzel's Farms. We're going to be taking our first break of the evening, but don't go anywhere. We're going to have more Rocket League here on the NECC right after this.
Oh man, this is incredible.
Oh, wow.
Huh?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Hey man, grab me a meat stick. I think I can reach it if I just a little more. Just let me go a little. I can't. Just a little more. I almost got it. Careful! Oh God! No, come on, just reach. Reach.
Just grab my hand.
I can't hold it. Grab my hand.
Give me the meat stick. This other hand's closer. The one with the stick is... Oh!
And I can't stop thinking about you, but what you gonna do? And you know I'm feeling good like that, so what you gonna do? And I can't stop thinking about you, but what you gonna do? What you gonna do? gonna do? What you gonna do?
Go on myself. I'm cold steel stainless. My glass half full. Always said don't suffer no fools. Serpent daydream.
gotta get to you. I would climb 1,000 mountains, swim across the darkest ocean. 'Cause I'm trying to get to you, yeah, I'm trying to get to you. I wanna get to you, 'cause I gotta get to you. Colder when you're frozen over like I am. Well, I know you know that like it's colder, colder when I'm older, older than I am. And I know you know that I have lost composure, but I'll hold you closer while I can. I never told you that I'm slightly broken, that I might lose focus when I am. I know you know that life gets colder, colder when you're frozen over like I am.
before. Falling faster, I try to ignore. I see you, I see you. I'll let you drag me to hell if you hold my hand. Tell me this is real and it will never end. This is not what I came here to find. Memories show that I'm out of time. See a shadow, don't know if it's mine, but I see you, I see you, I see you, I see you. I'll let you drag me to hell if you hold my hand. Tell me this is real and it will never end.
One, two, three, four.
Oh man, would you look at me? You're just another one hit wonder, that's what everyone sees. Ain't it funny how you wanna be the best, but you can't even get up and get dressed? Wasted, face it, you're never gonna make it. Rockstar, you won't get far. And I know you're confused. People tell you you can be anything you wanna be. Wanna go to outer space, superhero in the streets. Oh man, what a lie, what a time to be alive. How have I survived? Life's a battlefield, 1974. I think I'm going insane. I'm feeling crazy. Can't get it out of my head. Oh no, if the devil inside takes hold, then I just might wind up dead. Wasted, face it, you're never gonna be the one. Rockstar, you won't get far, but at least you had fun. People tell you you can be anything you wanna be, a king or a queen, as long as you got a dream. Oh no, it's a lie, they just wanna take your life, try to tell you it's a battlefield. People tell you you can be anything you wanna be, wanna go to outer space, superhero in the streets. Oh man, what a lie, what a time to be alive. How have I survived? Life's a battlefield, 1974.
Well, hello and welcome back to Rocket League here on the NECC. I am Captain Atsuka, joined on the desk by none other than Mr. Bepic. And we've already had one doozy of a match to start things off, and now we are going to get into another one, and it is going to be a doozy for tonight, Bepic. We have Concord taking on Ole Miss. How do we feel about this matchup tonight?
This is a big one. I mean, Division 1, you're always expecting to be treated to the best of what CRL has to offer, and these two are about to give it to us. A quarterfinals matchup in the upper bracket of D1 playoffs, and I mean, Concord, reigning national champions for a reason. They're playing in CRL Nationals, I believe, next week. And then Ole Miss in the last CRL Open made a run at top 6 after having a lackluster spring semester by their standards, because they've been at the top of CRL for a long time now. I didn't have a great start to the spring, but they're slowly starting to figure it out, and definitely are, I think, underdogs coming into this matchup against Concord, but we should still be in for a treat.
Yeah, and you know, I'm not going to hide it. I am an Ole Miss fan here in the Collegiate Rocket League space. But with that being said, you had already mentioned it. Concord, definitely the Titan here to look out for. And with that being said, I think we're going to be in for quite a matchup. Now, I would be really surprised. Keep in mind that we're in Division 1, so it's going to be a best of 7. So I will be really surprised if this ends in a sweep, Bepic.
We'll see. I think it's up to Ole Miss to prevent this from ending in a sweep, because Concord, they're just winners. I mean, Concord brought their two European superstars over to the States to win national championships and win big series like this. And so far, so good for the Mountain Lions. So I'm really watching Ole Miss, see if they can step up tonight, send C-Money off after this semester with a deep run in the NECC, and well, we are off and running in game 1, so let's let the play do the talking.
All right, here we go. And you can see Concord now on the offensive side of the ball. Stealth able to get the touch in order to put that one out. And Lunar is going to get demolished by Crispy there on the back line. And Stealth, I got to give a shout out there. Love seeing a Dami player resurface, you know, especially after, you know, this long run of it being, you know, Phoenix and Octanes. Love to see the resurgence of the Dami every now and again.
Oh, that Dominus sent flying past the ball right there. Tough read for Ole Miss defensively, but they survive. Low on boost, still played a little bit. You call them out, and that Dominus does them a little bit wrong, but it's all right. Ole Miss do find a way out, and C-Money on the ball. Bested by CMOS there in the corner, and upfield, CMOS is rocking the thinnest wheels you'll see, and the grass boost. He's not going for style tonight, just straight wins.
Let's see if they can pull them down. Meanwhile, you got CMOS not going to be able to get back to the ball in time. Lunar is going to get on the board first for Ole Miss.
Hey, good start. APAC RLCS legend Lunar puts Ole Miss on the board. Not a minute into gameplay. I guess a little bit over a minute, I should say. Took him a little while and some tough defensive stands, but that is a good start for Ole Miss here. Obviously, a lot of work left to be done, but hey, if you can find cracks in the Concord armor early on and find ways to hit them early, then maybe you can jump out to a quick lead, though it's back to the goal line for Ole Miss.
Now C-Money trying to take control here. Doesn't have a lot of boosts to work with. This one gets bumped over and towards the corner. And now out towards the mid. No one there to really answer. Big demo onto Helix. Trying to create a little room to operate here for Ole Miss, as that one's still going to hold strong. The Concord Esports defense holding strong indeed as they got out of the danger.
One of those got no boost, so he lets Stealth take the ball over. It's a good initial challenge by CMOS here. Concord are making it very difficult on Ole Miss, but are getting caught out by these cross-pitch plays, where we'll go quickly left to right, and all three players were kind of aggressively playing around each other. That's left them open a couple of times now, Concord. And Ole Miss has found a goal off of one of such plays, but it is just that one. And Crispy now downfield. We'll have Lunar to contest him, and Ole Miss again pass a defensive test as it's quick hits downfield for Concord. Now a flip reset of the CMOS sets Crispy up, and a defensive miss from Ole Miss makes it look a little bit awkward for them. But they're surviving somehow. They're missing a lot though.
Yeah, so far this first goal that Ole Miss got was huge, but I mean, just in a matter of moments, Concord is able to equalize, and it's the demos paving the way here for Helix.
That felt like a long time coming. With the amount of awkward moments for Ole Miss's back line, the whiffs in defense. I mean, you can't be doing that against Concord and expect to survive this series. So, they'll have to clean that up a little bit. But the demos definitely did exacerbate the problem. And Concord know how to find goals, know when a team is weak. But going the other way now, Ole Miss gives C-Money an open backboard. And C-Money knows exactly what to do with that.
Yeah, this was a great setup here by Lunar, being able to dish that one out to the mid, and then C-Money just reading the double tap like a book right off the backboard and down into the goal. Ole Miss now up 1 goal, just above that 2-minute mark. Ole Miss looking pretty good so far.
Definitely. Despite the weird moments in defense, their offense is operating at a very high level, and Concord doesn't seem too prepared for it. They're giving gaps, I mean, off the backboard right there in the infield in the first goal, and outside of that, there have been a lot of pretty wide openings on their back line that Ole Miss have exploited. And now Lunar can create some of his own as he bumps Crispy out of the way, but has no follow-up, so someone else takes over. Now 50's stealth here. Concord can slowly advance the ball, testing Ole Miss's back line again, as this game has been played majority on that Ole Miss end, but they are surviving these moments in defense, and Concord still only have 1 goal to work with.
And time continuing to tick down here as that follow-up from C-Money is good. Lunar again with the pass to get this one to go, and now Ole Miss has an insurance goal.
Wow, that's a rough transition back to defense for Concord. That just kind of serves up a third for Ole Miss on the silver platter. Minute 20 left, and they have themselves a nice 2-goal lead that Lunar will try to add to now. Just Helix back. Concord's been playing a lot of lone man defense on their goal line, and maybe trying to come in here and play a bit more aggressively than they should. Maybe looking for quicker transitions than what they've been able to find off their goal line. But hey, there is still clock left to work with now. Ole Miss are trying to sap it down, but Mountain Lions have found room in offense.
Right now, I just kind of think that Ole Miss are communicating extremely well. Again, they haven't been scoring like any big highlight reel plays. Like, don't get me wrong, C-Money's double tap, like, that was beautiful, that was nice. But it hasn't been anything like, mind-boggling insane to get past the Concord defense. It has just been pretty fundamental for the most part and good communication. And I think that synergy right now is really paying off for Ole Miss. Even on the defensive side, they've managed to keep their 2-goal lead now with just 30 seconds remaining, and Lunar with the save, able to keep it that way.
Crispy center ball, a little awkward for Ole Miss. Stealth has to cut back from slightly moving upfield to make that read, but he keeps control for a while, and that should do well to kill the rest of game 1. Crispy is shot on target, and if that bump connects, then maybe there's something to be said about that second goal, which we still might find. Beautiful passing play, broken up by C-Money. He was ready for that back post pass that Concord tried to use to prolong game 1 with an extra goal. But C-Money, an MVP for a reason there in the first game of this series, helps get Ole Miss over the line in a big way.
And take a look at this. I mean, we're looking at the shot count, and clearly it's one-sided, but not in the favor you would think. It's on Concord. They came through with 6 shots on target. Meanwhile, only 4 for Ole Miss, but they managed to find the back of the net more often than not with 3 assists for 3 goals, looking good. C-Money, as you had mentioned, MVP, able to get 2 of those goals and 3 saves. But Lunar, again, I think somewhat of an unsung hero there, coming away with 100% goal participation with 1 goal and 2 assists. Bepic, what do you think of this stat line? How do you think it's going to play out with, so far, Ole Miss winning the game, but not the shot count? Do you think that type of play style could affect them going forward if they don't take control of the shot count and just keep allowing Concord to just rack up shots?
I mean, they were only outshot by 1, so it's not exactly a huge difference that's going to come back to bite Ole Miss. 6 shots to 5 there. And they were just punishing mistakes that game. That's all that was for Ole Miss. They played solid enough defensively, and it still wasn't great on their back line. They looked really awkward at times, but in offense, they just played possession, waited for Concord to make mistakes. Concord made enough to give the Rebels the game 1 win, and if that continues, then Ole Miss is in a really good spot. But I'm curious to see how game 2 goes, because Concord should solidify defensively. They should figure things out. We slow down a little bit, play a tad bit more passive, not quite as confident. But it'll be up to Ole Miss to keep this rolling here, as possession was decent. if the openings were there, and if the openings still present themselves, then I expect the Rebels to keep punishing.
Well, let's see how it goes. Keep in mind, just a reminder that this is a best of 7, unlike our first series, which was only a best of 5. Still plenty of Rocket League left to play here, and once again, Ole Miss will score first.
Well, here, this is definitely them creating that opening. Simon, I think that would have been a quadruple tap if he had hit that, but it still sets up Stealth nicely, and Concord played more passive there. Everybody was at home on their goal line. They just got out-read by Ole Miss, so that offense of the Rebels is stepping up and taking an extra leap forward in this series, and that was what I was kind of hoping would happen. Test Concord even more, really force their defense to step up and control the pace a tad bit extra. But it is just one, and CMOS is down the field getting a counterattack, looking for Concord's equalizer.
Okay, I mean, here we are. I mean, this is the second time Ole Miss managed to score first this series. And, you know, if you're Ole Miss coming into this one, you know, that's huge. That first goal adds so much momentum to your side. But hold the fuck, was this a fake, Bepic?
It's Ole Miss playing with everybody at the midfield line. I mean, CMOS, actually he makes contact with that. That's kind of crazy. I don't think it changed the trajectory of the ball at all, as Ole Miss was just straight out of position. That's bad defense.
It just looked like, it really looked like CMOS didn't even touch it. It just kind of like floated right on in. My goodness, again, like you had mentioned, just kind of feels like almost a free goal there for Concord. Yeah, Ole Miss, they're going to have to tighten some things up on the D if they're going to, you know, try and, you know, still hold on to this lead they have in the series.
It's a nice passing play. Lunar and Stealth combining together to at least get the ball as far as Crispy at that midfield line, but Crispy takes away all that good work, and so let's try again. They're connecting nicely. I like the ideas. The passes in defense to try and break away. That's the next evolution, I think, of their back line, as long as everybody is at home in defense. But Concord with this haven't blinked. Still playing solid defense, though. Helix doesn't have a ton of boost now. Stealth can punish this. A double tap won't actually be. I think Lunar was hoping that contact was made, and Stealth just missed out. So Concord get an opportunity the other way. And again, CMOS scores with a bit of ease.
Yep, there we go. And now they have themselves a lead for the first time in the series, shaping up a lot better here in game number 2. Really taking control and capitalizing on having a higher shot count, being able to finish on these shots. And with just under 3 minutes left to go, Concord now in control of this match.
Oh, but Ole Miss is back to creating opportunities of their own. And again, the passing plays end up panning out in offense. 2-2.
You know, I like what I'm seeing from Ole Miss. You know, they are definitely showing up today. Like, even after getting scored on, well, actually 2 unanswered goals, it didn't seem like they were fazed by it. They just went right after the next play, and they are able to equalize. And again, they are going up against a pretty formidable foe, and they don't seem to be intimidated by it. I like it.
This is a confident 6 players, honestly, but both sides know their strength and play like it on the pitch. And CMOS running ahead is trying to make Lunar's life a bit extra miserable, but Lunar dodges that demo at the midfield line, and Ole Miss continue to play good offense. They'll push back upon now by the Mountain Lions. CMOS doesn't make contact with his first man challenge, so it's up to Crispy to buy time and keep Concord in possession of the ball, trying to up their field domination numbers, which so far have been dominated by Ole Miss. I say dominated very loosely. It's about 50-50, but Ole Miss was in front for the moment. And we'll add to those numbers here as Stealth moves forward, pushes that midfield line deep into Concord territory. The Mountain Lions work from the back foot.
Right now, Ole Miss definitely showing their teeth here in the offensive side. Now Concord looking for the counterattack. A beautiful ground pinch. CMOS able to get that one to fall. That is 3 for Concord.
This is more like Concord's offense. That is nice. A little cheeky power slide shot there out in front of the Ole Miss net, and it throws off the timing of that defender. Not sure when the ball is going to be sent their way, and so a good finish by CMOS puts Concord out in front, and that's the Concord offense that I'm used to seeing, and the kind of offense that Ole Miss will have to somehow find a way to stop if they are going to win 4 games in this set. Still, though, only 1 goal out in front for Concord, but Crispy's pre-jumped CMOS here, and yeah, we're back to our regularly scheduled Concord programming.
That kickoff was a little wacky. You had 2 cheat ups that both missed. Like you hardly see that, and it was just funny because it felt like the first miss threw off the follow up touch, causing another miss. But regardless, kickoff is now gone, and we are just right back to the contest here. Just over a minute remaining. Concord trying to hold on to their 1-goal lead.
Ooh, Stealth is upfield, got aggressive in the last play, so used his positioning to actually set up Lunar and C-Money to tie this ball game. That's a really good transition here by Ole Miss, because the last play didn't work out, and they didn't hang their heads. They got right back to it, and Stealth used his aggressive spot to now catch out Concord. So, well done. Ole Miss aren't done with game 2 just yet.
Absolutely not. But I mean, take a look at this though. 6 goals here in game 2. That is a high scoring game. At least I think it's a high scoring game. Some people will probably disagree. But when I see 6 goals on the board in total, I feel like that's just a lot of offense going on. And that's the thing that we've seen with Ole Miss. And that may have been a block shot by their own teammate. I don't know. It looked like it was going in. But, the point being is that Ole Miss, just from games number 1 and going into game number 2, have just been showing a lot of offensive presence.
I mean, both teams have extremely talented offenses, and I think it has been good offense coupled with bad defense. As now, that could have been an open net. If Helix has boost right there, it's 4-3 Concord. It still might be a good center ball that CMOS isn't going to bite on because Stealth is in the area, but Ole Miss had a dangerous double commit with their second and third man back, so they almost gave that one up. Again, rough midfield play from the Rebels, and now their punishment is to play the rest of regulation on their back foot. And Crispy in the corner can exacerbate this problem, but Stealth finds a great stop and a clear for his team. But this is likely hitting the ground. We're going to overtime.
Our first overtime of the night, 3-3 between Concord and Ole Miss. Let's see who's going to be able to get the golden goal. If Ole Miss can now extend their lead, or will Concord equalize and tie the series up 1-1? Big opening, and Stealth is there for the save.
Quick reaction from Stealth. Now the rebound opportunity is dangerous again, though Stealth is once more on the back line of Ole Miss, there to stop Concord's advancement. Quick shot the other way. Tests Helix there on the goal line. He reacts promptly, though. And so, seems like we can settle into overtime here with both teams full of playmakers. A big reason why we've seen 6 goals. And I'll agree with you, Itselka, this is a high-scoring game. But at the moment, it's more of a question of who finds that all-important fourth.
Who will indeed? My goodness. I mean, this is where, the nerves of steel really get tested. I mean, every time we go into an OT, especially now, you can see they start to play a little bit more cautiously, a little bit more reserved, because nobody wants to give up that golden goal, and nearly Ole Miss do, as the pressure continues to build from Concord, and Ole Miss stay alive.
I don't know if either of these two teams are getting nervous in game 2 of a best of 7. Whether it's overtime or not, they have been there, done that in the CRL and RLCS scene with a couple of really both rosters in the RLCS scene are used to making deep runs in tournaments. So they're still aiming for that 4th, with Ole Miss surviving their first real test defensively. Now rewarded with a shot on target, but it is denied emphatically by Crispy there. And he moves downfield, steals 100 boost in that Ole Miss corner. You have to watch now how Ole Miss does play this, as they do have boost for this counterattack. So the nab in the corner doesn't end up panning out much, as Ole Miss manage their resources well.
I'm wondering if this overtime is going to be a long one, just by the way that things are going right now. I mean, it's been quite a literal back and forth. Almost feels as if it's a stalemate. I mean, 2 minutes in the OT, still not scoreless, but still without the golden goal. Is now Stealth able to get the clear, and Ole Miss, it feels like they are finally somewhat getting their defense together.
Definitely. They've settled into this series for sure, and they've stopped tripping over each other a little bit on their back line. There have been some awkward midfield double commits that have cost them nearly 2 goals in this game. I think back to the CMOS open net earlier, and then what could have been the go-ahead goal with about 20 seconds left for Concord, but they've survived those weird moments and are still fighting hard. But really, it's been Concord with the majority of the opportunities in OT, and Crispy will supply another one off the backboard. Doesn't make contact with Lunar. That's nice defense from Ole Miss again as they survive and look to start a counterattack now with Stealth on the ball.
Concord just inching closer and closer towards that net, and they're keeping the ball behind Ole Miss on that back wall, and that's where things get tricky. Finally, a big clear does come out from Ole Miss as this one gets pinched up high. Now Seamoss carrying it away. Open opportunity here, but Lunar is able to get the save.
No boost for stealth, though, so he can't stay close to the ball. Concord will keep their possession going. A creative little ground pinch touch there from Helix, but let's fork over the ball to C-Money. Same story. Players on the ball without a whole lot of boost to make space for their offense. But Ole Miss get out, get their secondary chance. It's a little bit awkward here, but he does have the resources to make that block, and Seamoss up in the air to send a big clear downfield. Still, though, both sides do seem composed defensively. They know what the other team's about. I think at this point, we're just waiting for a player or two to step up and make that big star-studded play that both offenses have shown us they can make. Just a matter of time before they're given space to do it.
And, you know, the longer that we spend in OT, I feel like the bigger of a momentum boost the win is. I don't know why, but maybe it's just me whenever, you know, I'm playing like my ranked matches. If I'm in a really long OT or, you know, whatever it is, it just feels that much better when you actually come away with the dub. So I think the momentum boost for whichever team gets the win here is going to be huge in this series overall.
Concord is trying to get creative with where they're playing the ball to give themselves some more time in offense. Maybe some awkward odd man rushes with Ole Miss short-staffed defensively, as Helix had a free out of defense, but Seamoss took the ball and went backwards with it. And so an awkward play, and it doesn't end up working. That extra creativity in defense. In fact, right here, Seamoss' aggression is dunked on by C-Money, and he scores the game winner.
Yeah, I mean, C-Money definitely clutched that one for Ole Miss right there. Able to get 2 defensive stops back-to-back off of something that was rather unorthodox. Like, I saw them turn around, and I'm thinking to myself, why the hesitation? You got to commit to that. But then they were able to backflip their way to victory, not once, but twice, and then turn it around and turn that into a shot. C-Money, again, needs a little bit more credit than what the scorecard is giving them right now. I mean, they're towards the bottom, but it's still close. You know, 657 to 712 points wise. Stealth MVP, well deserved. And then when you look at that, I mean, 5 saves on the defense. My goodness, what a game 2. Ole Miss now with a good chunk of momentum in the series.
And it is helped by their stellar defense. Their Concord, more time spent in the offensive zone than the Rebels. Not by much, but still a slight offensive advantage when it comes to time spent in offense. And I think Concord's offense overall was a bit more lethal than Ole Miss. They definitely, I think, have a bit more ability on the ball overall as a roster. But Ole Miss, off the back of a 10-save performance on 15 Concord shots, keep themselves afloat in that game and give C-Money the opportunity to double dunk the Concord midfield line and steal that game in overtime. I mean, Ole Miss deserves a lot of credit for that game win.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, you know, when you're that deep in the OT, the win has got to feel good. So let's see if Ole Miss will be able to ride that momentum into game number 3. We are underway. Lunar is going to kick things off here. Goes up off the ceiling, able to get a decent 50 out from the corner, but that one's going to get cleared very quickly.
Now C-Money again, forced into a quick 50-50. Crispy's outdone 2 Ole Miss players and almost snuck that ball in. A close shave for Ole Miss, but they get the job done again, precariously, but successfully. And now, again, Stealth in tight quarters there with the rest of Concord's offense in his face. Another great save. Lunar will add one to the tally, and Ole Miss are already trying to get back to the same defensive levels that we saw in Game 2, where they racked up 10 saves against a great-looking Concord offense, as we're only less than a minute in, and they've got 2 big ones.
I thought I counted 3. I mean, I might be mistaken, but I thought there were 3 saves on the board. Now, definitely because of Seamoss, but still, I mean, the Ole Miss defense, they're getting to touches that seem like they are getting beat. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they just come off the back wall and they're able to get it clear out. I mean, again, we talked about how they had to make the change on defense. And to see them make the changes in real time in the middle of the series, that's just absolutely extraordinary. But a big demo is going to clear the defense for the first goal of Game 3.
Concord finds a way through eventually. They were going to execute on a play like this at some point soon, going for so many goal line sweeps on that Ole Miss line, and that is a clean up front play there to get them there first. I think it was CMOS up ahead, clearing the way for Helix, and that's clean from Concord. So Ole Miss fighting from behind now, and in the first 90 seconds of play, Concord with the bulk of the field domination. 65% of our first 90 spent in that Ole Miss end, and that's a nice demo to counter. Lunar giving Concord a taste of their own medicine, prevents that second one from falling in.
Now, I'm not going to make a correlation and causation argument here. All I'm going to state is the fact of this series, or a fact of this series, is that in the first 2 games, the team that scored first ended up winning the game. Ole Miss, they scored first twice. They managed to get the dub. So now that Concord has scored first, maybe they get a little momentum on their side and set themselves up for a win as they nearly drop in the second. Let's see.
They're definitely doing themselves a lot of favor with the possession game thus far. It has been very passive defense as Ole Miss has been stuck, glued to their goal line by Concord here, just pressing and pressing until that Rebels back line breaks. Good finish by CMOS, and there are 2 players there, but no boost in Lunar's Fennec, and I think there was a player coming off the backboard as well for Ole Miss. Tough to get a save in that position.
Yeah, this is not where you want to be if you're Ole Miss right now. I mean, down 2 goals against Concord just before halftime. Again, that insurance goal can be very daunting. But with that being said, you know, Ole Miss, they've been down 2. They were down 2 in the previous game. They managed to able to make a little bit of a comeback and, you know, send us into OT. Who knows? Maybe they'll be able to do it again. As you can see, Ole Miss now trying to, like you had mentioned, get a little bit more favor in the possession game.
Big clear. No boost though for C-Money, so he's challenging here with nothing in the boost tank, so he'll be rotating back for a while, leaving Stealth in a lone man position. Had to read Crispy's touch perfectly, and Crispy was behind the play, so Stealth had an easier time of that, but still, a risky position to be in. Stealth, again, his defense keeps Ole Miss out of a spot of danger, though Concord have flipped the field again. It's only short-lived. Again, low boost for the first man of Ole Miss, but C-Money helps him out and sets Stealth up, who refueled there, I think, in the Concord corner, and scores the first for Ole Miss.
And again, what a play here. C-Money able to get to that touch, but then Stealth playing very stealthily there in the corner, you know, just kind of lurking a bit, like you had mentioned, you know, getting that extra boost there out towards the corner, and then just finding the moment to strike, being able to get there first. And now this game looks a whole lot closer. Again, that 1 goal difference is a huge difference when we're this late into game 3.
And I'll correct myself, it was the midfield 100 that Stealth picked up right there. He timed it perfectly. It popped up right as he was driving across it, because it was empty a second before he gets to that position, and it ends up turning a goose egg into a single tick mark on the scoreboard for Ole Miss, and now they can make it 2. But Lunar's stellar flip reset backboard doubles denied by Crispy. What a read defensively.
Yeah, that was absolutely insane, because again, you know, if they don't get that save, then you saw the follow-up. Like, the follow-up was coming through, that was going to be a goal, but again, Crispy comes in clutch with the save, nearly able to get a goal. Stealth able to clear this one out momentarily as we have less than a minute to go, and Ole Miss still trail by 1.
Stealth is a brick wall right now. He's using every inch of that dominance to keep Ole Miss's defense cooking on their goal line. And now upfield, a 50-50 taken with no boost. Actually invites Lunar into the play. He beats Helix and can't bump CMOS. Either way, Concord had that play covered up, but still, Ole Miss is gaining a bit of fervor in offense. And now 2 players moving up together, but one of them gets bumped, and Crispy dodges, I think, Lunar's bump attempt there up front of the Concord goal line. So Mountain Lions find an important stop to keep their 1-goal lead intact now, even with the Rebels really pushing forward here late in regulation. Concorders surviving and look in a good spot to get their first game win on the board, unless we see something phenomenal here. Lunar's on the ball. What you got for us, Lunar? Nothing, says CMOS as he gets a big stop on the near side, and Concord will look to ground this and win game 3.
Well, ball's still alive. You see the flip reset, and oh, they had a player down, but the ball touched first, and that's going to be Concord's first win of the series. Big turnaround, but still keeping it close. We're going to take a look at the shot count here. You got 9 coming from Concord and 8 from Ole Miss. Again, just a 1-shot differential here, and that is huge. The save count, iron lock, that is still the same. And my goodness, I mean, Concord, It looked like they really had to, really step their game up there just because, Ole Miss already managed to take two. And Concord, they had to put a little bit more respect on Ole Miss there in game three.
I mean, Ole Miss's back line has really done them so much good in this series because Concord has tried a lot of different options offensively to throw off Ole Miss. The goal line sweeps, the creative solo plays, the switching of which direction the ball is going in, especially on that blue half of the field. But Ole Miss really hasn't bitten on those fakes. They've dodged the bump attempts and demo attempts for the most part. There are a couple good ones did connect for Concord, but it's just one game win. They need 3 more if they want to stay in the upper bracket of the NECC Division I playoffs. And Ole Miss still does hold that game advantage in hand, but this is just a series. Two titans of the CRL scene going back and forth. All I need in front of me now is a bucket of popcorn.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, they are putting on a show so far, I gotta say, because these games have been pretty close, to say the least. I mean, we got our first overtime of the night, then a 1-goal difference there in game 3. Now here we are in game 4. Will Ole Miss be able to keep the series lead, or will Concord even it up? Time will tell, as we can see that Ole Miss once again having to operate from the back line.
So Concord are no strangers to comebacks like this. Going down by 2 games early on in a best-of-7 isn't going to phase them. These guys know how to come back from the worst of it. So Ole Miss has to close out strong, as they did game 3. A lot of good looks there late in regulation that Concord had to really stretch to stop. So if Ole Miss can keep that momentum rolling now into game 4, they can set themselves up for success and maybe a 3-1 best-of-7 lead. That's a good spot to be in against the reigning national champs. But at the moment, the Mountain Lions starting us off in offense, and Crispy, his solo plays are dangerous. He got a flip reset right there, but Ole Miss stopping the bulk of these opportunities before the post thwarts them. Helix on rebound duty puts Concord up 1.
Yeah, that was just a whole lot of gratuity coming from Concord there. I mean, just shot after shot after shot, ringing the post, hitting the backboard. Eventually, one will fall, and Concord able to score first. And again, just throwing it out there, the teams that have been scoring first have been the ones that have been winning. And it's not really a big mystery. It's just more of, it's just more observation, to say the least. So let's see if Concord will be able to score again. No, says Stealth. It will be denied.
I couldn't tell who saved that without looking at the in-game feed there, and I should have just known it was Stealth. Dude has been a save machine this series, and they're a tough read from Lunar. Has made it crossbar level, and now C-Money. Okay, just watches Lunar again, rotates towards the crossbar and stops Concord. We have started out the first 90 seconds again in dominant fashion for Concord's offense, not with goals scored, but with time spent in that orange Ole Miss side. And that will keep going here. CMOS fakes one, has C-Money in a 1v1. That CMOS will win, and C-Money was left stunned. Watch that ball roll in.
Oh, that was dirty. I mean, my goodness, C-Money in a very detrimental position there. I mean, that was, I wouldn't have wanted to be them. But regardless, I mean, CMOS definitely putting on a show there with a little finesse and some mind trickery to get that one to go. Concord now 2-0. Starting things off very similar to that of Game 3.
This is nice. This is really nice. But Helix, all of that good passing by Ole Miss is undone by a low boost save, and Crispy converts on an open net. That's a Rocket League moment for you. That was one of the best Ole Miss plays they've set up tonight, and all of it is taken away by Lunar trying to force a little bit too hard. Sends the ball into CMOS, and Crispy has an easy one.
Yeah, great counterattack there coming from Concord, and the momentum definitely all on their side now. They are definitely starting to find their groove. They're really turning on here in Game 4, as they have 3 unanswered goals against Ole Miss. And like you had said, we were praising the back line of Ole Miss as they time and time again managed to find these saves, but Concord on that last play were able to come through not only on the defense, but turn that defense into some offense and get a 3-goal cushion. Now here we are at halftime. Time now ticking against Ole Miss.
Well, I will still keep praising that back line of Ole Miss. They've got 4 saves in this game. It's just been their midfield. It's been pretty weak for them. It's done them any favors, as field domination is starkly on Concord's side, and finding possession is a little bit easier now for Ole Miss. They're getting some more time spent in offense, but you've already dug yourself a 3-goal hole with by being stuck on your back line for so long to open this game up. So a lot of work to do for the Rebels here, and CMOS in the way of them doing their work. That obstacle will be removed from the play for the time being, but there are 2 other pesky roadblocks for Ole Miss to contend with on that Concord side, as again, the Mountain Lions do well defensively and are rewarded with a clear.
Yeah, things are looking pretty good for Concord here in the late game. I mean, when you look at, the ratio between time spent and goals scored, a minute and 30, 3 goals spread, that's a lot of ground to cover and not a lot of time to do it. So let's see if Ole Miss is going to be able to get things together on the offensive side of things, as we have a minute and 20 remaining. Open shot there, but CMOS able to get back in time in order to save that one and clear it away.
Crispy beats one and forced Lunar into an awkward touch there, as Lunar was the second man up for Ole Miss. Doesn't pan out either way. Challenge game of Concord is doing them a lot of good at the moment as they continue to press that possession advantage, even with a minute left here, even up by 3. They're not giving Ole Miss much ground to fight from. Here in the final minute, it is very much looking like we'll be tied up 2 apiece between these two, going into a big 5th game, because Concord is playing with house money at the moment. It feels like they're back to their winning ways. This is a Concord series, and Ole Miss has to change that narrative.
But still, if you're Ole Miss, I mean, the pressure's on you, if you're Ole Miss right now, because not only did they come through and even up the series, but they did so in spectacular fashion. I mean, just as of now, it's 4-0. And the last thing you want is to go into a series tiebreaker on a shutout. So right now, if I'm Ole Miss, I just want to get 1 goal on the board. That should be their focus for like the next 30 seconds, to get at least 1 goal on the board. But no, Concord, they're going to go ahead and get another one for themselves.
Well, that's smart. The kickoff didn't go their way, so they'll go for a quick reset to get that 1 goal on the board. But Concord is still laying it on at the moment, and this has been a suffocating game. They have taken out a lot of oxygen from that Ole Miss camp, and I mean, 60% field domination now through almost 5 full minutes. Likely going to go up with Concord spending more time, even in the waning moments of Game 4 in that orange end. But hey, counterattack here for Stealth. Let's see what he can get, as the playmaking from Ole Miss is still there. I think at the moment, it's just a matter of whether or not they can stop Concord's ability in the offensive end, because this team is full of national champions for a reason. They were successful in fall CRL for a reason. They've got a dynamic offense. They play so confidently as a unit, and there's a garbage time goal for CMOS in game chat. Gave him a nice one.
Hey, we'll take it. I mean, right now, like I had mentioned, you just don't want to go into the next game on a shutout. With that being said, they're able to get 1 on the board right as time expired, so they'll take it, and Concord will take another win, now tying up the series 2 apiece.
I don't know. I think it's a little more insulting to have your 1 goal gotten because Crispy just put the ball in front of his own net and no one was there to stop Ole Miss from scoring that. They couldn't help but score that last goal. And CMOS let him know with a nice one in chat. But wow, that's a pretty one-sided scoreboard. To give you some layman analysis, 3 shots for Ole Miss and a whole lot of time spent on their back line. That can't continue. If you have another game like that, this series is more than likely over. They need to step up and figure out a way to gain some ground back in that center third.
Yeah, and I think you had said it best, with their midfield presence, like their backline, they have been playing immaculate on the backline defense. Now they really have to start contesting at the midfield, and they got to get there quicker. They have got to get to that midfield line before Concord and really start taking a lot of those side boosts too as well. Again, it seemed as though there were a lot of times, you were looking at the offensive attempts coming from the side of Ole Miss, and they were just low on resources. They were low on boost. They couldn't follow through on a lot of these touches, and I think it has to do with a lot of that midfield control that Concord had just used to absolutely suffocate Ole Miss. So Ole Miss really got to make some changes going into the next game. So not only are they going to have to make changes, but now they're going to have to do it after a pretty one-sided defeat there in Game 4.
Nearly 1,000 more units of boost used by the Concord players than the Ole Miss players, and that makes a bit of sense considering Ole Miss has to wait on shots since Concord had so much time spent in the offensive zone, but that also lends to what you're saying, where they didn't really have the resources and all the moments to make the plays that they wanted. So, let's see what Ole Miss can do. We know they can adapt. These guys, like I said, have done it at all levels of competitive Rocket League. I know Lunar was a high school Rocket League star several years ago now, and a lot of RLCS accolades in this lobby as well. But that's an awkward start for Ole Miss as they begin on their back foot, have a play to break out, but I think at the midfield line, they lose a lot of pace with that awkward double commit and light touch. So Concord is given a little bit of a gift, though the Rebels are still working hard in offense, and Lunar has a full boost tank and Stealth to his right. Stealth, though, is bumped twice off the ball, and Concord find a stop.
Yeah, that's difficult to watch there because they had the open net, it was there, and the follow-up bump was good. They were able to get the goalie and put him right into the back of the net, but the two following bumps from Concord made sure that Ole Miss could never take the shot. You just love to see this much physicality here in the late games of this series.
Now Concord back to putting pressure directly on the Ole Miss net, but Stealth, he misses a double, and that leads to a Concord goal immediately. If that isn't a microcosm for what's gone wrong for Ole Miss the last couple of games, I don't know what is, as Stealth fails in the midfield third after getting some space. He had plenty of boost, just missed the double tap, and Concord are so fast to punish that they get themselves first blood.
That they do, and they're setting themselves up already early. Still, Ole Miss plenty of time to try and equalize here. Hopefully they don't take as much time as they did in the previous game, because we saw how quickly that snowball turned into an avalanche in the previous game. And now Concord once again looking to take control, and the possession game has been oh so good for Concord, as once again Helix showing off a little bit of their solo prowess there. They were able to get past two, but couldn't get past the third.
It's a good touch. Lunar downfield. Had Stealth, who went up for that at least halfway before realizing Crispy had him clean beat. And so Ole Miss try again. Passing play there. Set Stealth up, and he did get his flip off that reset. Nicely done, though. Better defense from Concord so far as CMOS on the backboard gets two big reads. Helix tried to clear, but Ole Miss is playing up front, playing with some good on-ball agency, even when rotating back, trying to stay in the face of Concord so that the Mountain Lions can't build their offense back up and hold Ole Miss to that back line like we saw so much of in Game 4. So small adjustments, a little bit of extra aggression from the Rebels, but still no goal to show for it. Stealth will try and change that with a double tap, just short of being on target. Counts as a shot, but that's an easy cleanup for Crispy.
And Crispy is the last person you want to see on transition if you're Ole Miss. We already know how dangerous Crispy is. And whenever they're in a transitional play, they are that much more dangerous. And now a good pass play, though, coming from Ole Miss is going to be a little bit for not as Crispy again. Now on the defensive side of the ball, able to get the save and clear it away. Just 2 minutes left here in Game 5.
Oh, and CMOS dodges Lunar right there. It was upfield bumping the Concord defense. But okay, a miscue is taken advantage of by Ole Miss. Lunar has himself an easy cleanup job as Crispy in defense. I think actually served that one up better than it would have been served up. He just lets it go.
Yeah, that is just Rocket League right there. That right there is just good old-fashioned Rocket League. Oh my goodness. But like we had mentioned, Concord Esports, they're quick to capitalize on even the smallest minute mistakes. And so Ole Miss has got to be prepared to do the same, and they definitely did. Now we have ourselves a tie ball game, tie series with a minute and 30, a minute 35 left in Game 5. My goodness, this one is starting to get me a little nervous, Bepic.
I mean, the next goal is so important. I'm with you with the nerves, because Ole Miss can be a streaky team at times. I feel like if they're going down 3 consecutive games to Concord, the series is over with. I'm not sure there's a way for them to fight back against this stout Concord roster. But on the flip side, if they get this next go-ahead goal and hold it, getting themselves back out in front in this series, I mean, obviously they're on match point, but that helps the mental game so much. And that has been a weak point for this Ole Miss roster, the mental game. So if they can fight those demons, give themselves a good chance here in the next couple of games, then maybe they can escape with a win against the number 2 overall seed here, NECC Division 1. But 45 seconds left. We're in a stalemate as both sides battle for possession. Oh, dear.
Money, you know, backwards now. That was looking a little iffy for a moment, but they were able to recover nicely. And we could possibly see our second OT, not just of the night, but of this series, as we only have 30 seconds remaining. C Money going on top of the ball, doesn't have a lot of boost to follow it up. There's the cross, but no one there to finish. And right now, Ole Miss, they're just trying to force their way inside of this Concord defense right now.
This is a good look. Lunar is testing Crispy. Was in a good position, and the follow-up is a slight misread from Stealth, so Concord gets some time in offense here at the end of regulation, but now CMOS is alone in defense. Stops ball immediately. The secondary touch is off the backboard. He's the first man on the scene, and CMOS gets us to overtime. Last time we were here, lasted almost a full extra game. I think 4:38 was the final mark there, and now let's see if Ole Miss can grab that next all-important goal as they start us off in offense, but Crispy bumps Lunar into his own setup and finds an early stop.
Oh my goodness, this is coming down to the wire. I mean, I can't make heads or tails of this one. I came into this saying, like, I doubt that there will be a sweep either way, and sure enough, it's definitely not. But now, I don't know which way this one's gonna fall with the way the back and forth has been going. Now you can see Ole Miss, they're really taking control here in OT, as it feels as though, at least so far within like the first minute or so, the first 45 seconds, it has been Ole Miss mostly on the offense.
That's great news for them, because a lot of the last several games has been spent on their goal line. So the fact that they found opening possession in overtime and held on to it for so long bodes well, especially with that opportunity from C Money. He comes streaking in on an exposed net, nails the overtime winning shot, and he's 2 for 2 on such goals tonight.
My goodness, it was just the smallest opening, and Crispy was there. Crispy was in the net, but they just had to put the shot in like the furthest away that they possibly could, and the shot placement was just perfect. Again, it was unfortunate because Crispy just could not get there in time. And my goodness, Ole Miss, after losing 2 consecutive games in a big way also. I mean, we remember game 4. I mean, it was like a 4-goal spread. They come back and they steal the game away from Concord in game 5 and now put themselves on to series points. My goodness, Ole Miss really making changes in a very quick amount of time. It's impressive.
They showed some really impressive resolve across this game, this entire game, because Concord scored first there off of an Ole Miss mistake as well. But the Rebels didn't let that compound. Instead, they got right back into the game. They wore away at the Concord back line and flipped the possession game. 60-40 field domination, not for Concord this time, but for Ole Miss. They spent a good chunk of that game in offense. The shot tally showed it, 9-4. And after Concord in their 2 wins, shot a combined 22 times. Holding them to 4 in game 5 is massive for the Rebels, and now they've got 2 chances to close out the Mountain Lions and complete this upset.
And this is, like I said, you know, my nerves are already, you know, getting up there in the last game. Now, you know, I could feel the tension, you know, because at this point, you know, you could possibly look at an Ole Miss win, right, which would be huge. But at the same time, we could possibly have a game 7, Bepic. That would be epic for this series.
Would be a great way to send one of these 2 teams into the upper bracket semifinals, but there's no telling which one it'll be. Concord again is looking for a fast start, and Helix looks to provide, but Ole Miss survives a scare there in defense, and C Money breaks out quickly with a shot on target. This time around, Crispy is in position to make a save. Ole Miss will try once more, and everyone's scrambling early on. Helix falls off the backboard out of position to stop that stealth shot, and the Rebels strike first.
Yeah, look at the placement here. Again, because that was such an awkward angle for stealth, like they just had to put it slightly to the right, not even too far, just a little bit, and they managed to get that touch. And now a possible kickoff goal. No!
Yes, Ole Miss, a big second here, a reward for their quick counterattack to set up that last goal. And here, it's a kickoff strat. C Money peels off, and that aggressive cheater in Lunar has the ball sent right at his front bumper. And that right there is exactly why you use creative kickoff strats like that. And here, both teams employing one. So we get a fake kickoff to start from both sides, and it's the cheating players that end up taking the neutral 50 to really start this next play off. Funny little wrinkle there.
I like Ole Miss's mentality because I have the same mentality. Hey, that worked. Let's do it again. You know, might as well try it. Worked the first time, might as well try again. You'll love to see it. And now another shot drops down and it goes in. Ole Miss up 3 goals within the first minute of regulation in Game 6.
They just keep catching Concord's defense lacking. I mean, no boost on the Concord side, really. I think Crispy had like in the teens, maybe 20 there, but the rest of the team was low, and Ole Miss find themselves an easy opportunity to score kind of 3 times in a row. The first one was quite difficult, but the last 2 were just simple shots on target, one off a kickoff and one that is absolutely in the wheelhouse of C-Money. And all right, well, it's either going to be an Ole Miss win or a spectacular Concord comeback in Game 6, and either way, we're in for a treat.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that being said, though, you know, again, because, you know, going into this, you know, like we had mentioned, you know, Ole Miss were kind of like the underdogs going in, Concord defending national champions. But with that being said, you know, when you look at this Concord team, you have to give them their credit because there is still plenty of time here. And you know, as you had mentioned earlier, Concord no stranger to making some pretty clutch comebacks.
Definitely. They're not in this game whatsoever. They have the ability offensively to score 3 in less than a minute. But Ole Miss, their back line has been touted highly by the big brains in the booth tonight. So let's see if they can keep their save count going, or, you know, at the very least play offense enough to limit Concord. But that's not the case here. No saves, no offense, no problem for Concord as Ole Miss concedes that first of 3. And if the Mountain Lions find a way back here at SoCa, I really worry about Ole Miss.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Same, 100%. And with that being said, now, this is very dangerous as they are in a little bit of a detrimental position. That demo was huge. It cleared up enough space. C-Money, though, able to recover in time. And Stealth trying to play a little bit of mind trickery, though. And Concord not falling for it. Concord now, they are bringing the ruckus to the defense of Ole Miss as they find 2 quickly.
I told you, they can find 3 in less than a minute, and they're well on their way to doing that. That was a great initial stop by Stealth as he used his flip to send Crispy back into the ball, but they weren't ready, Ole Miss, for that CMOS rebound. That's really great communication and awareness by the 2 Europeans on Concord's side, as CMOS knows exactly where that ball's going and is ready to put in another one. He's got a hat trick, and Concord are already back.
Yep, and now this is where we get scared for Ole Miss. Right now, this is that moment, because my goodness, that was 3 goals, and it had to be a little, maybe over. I don't know. It was not very long, to just to say the least. But goodness, Ole Miss had started off phenomenally. 3 goals in quick succession, followed up by yet another 3 goals in quick succession, and we have ourselves yet another high-scoring game. And it's barely halftime.
And now Ole Miss really need to compose themselves, make sure this doesn't compound into a deficit, which it nearly does right there. But they find a way out, and in transition, put a good shot on target that Felix was more than prepared for. Didn't try to get aggressive and cut that play down early. Knew where it was going, and that was right at the Concord goal line, so that's where he sat. The Mountain Lions have a stop. Don't allow Ole Miss to claim a lead back, though the Rebels sure are trying. C-Money on the ball has already beaten 1, but Crispy on the backboard has plenty of boost to stop this attack from Ole Miss, though no quick follow-up from Concord. CMOS actually does find a lane for a big booming clear downfield, and Ole Miss can't counter. That's a miss from C-Money. He didn't have boost, and now CMOS off the Ole Miss backboard has caught them with their pants down, 4-3.
Yeah, right there, that miss from C-Money, oh my goodness, gave them the opening. But regardless, I mean, CMOS with the angle from off the backboard, off the wall, I mean, my goodness, that was one heck of a read. The passing from Concord has been nothing short of spectacular.
Same exact kickoff right there with the single diagonal to center, and both players, again, peel off the kickoff and, again, fake each other out. So even kickoff once again, both teams trying out the same strategy. 4-3, Concord holding on to their lead. No kickoff goal to help Ole Miss out this time around. They will need to earn their equalizer. Otherwise, we're going to Game 7. This is a good setup for Stealth, though that backboard defense at Concord has been sturdy all night long, and they find another big stop. And now a 2v1 the other way that C-Money does well to cut down early.
Looking to drop that one in front of the net, as all are crashing on the ball now here in the Concord side of things. Just over a minute remaining. Crispy able to take control, and now off the backboard again. The follow-up shot from CMOS is good, and they have a 2-goal cushion.
Oh my word, 5 consecutive for Concord, and it's not been just completely going on one run where they get a goal, maybe get a kickoff goal to add to it, and then a quick one after that. They are putting this run through a prolonged test where Ole Miss have chances to break down the streak that Concord's on, but they can't. The defense is just as good as the front line for Concord at the moment, and it's looking like Game 7 is an inevitability between these two, and Concord are hunting a 6th.
Yeah, and now with, time clearly not on Ole Miss's side, starting to feel like this is just going to be a Concord dub in a Game 7, which is still a show. Being able to just to go to the Game 7 here for this D1 game, I am not disappointed by any means. This is exactly what I was hoping to see coming into this one, as now with just over 20 seconds remaining, still a 2-goal lead in favor of Concord. That Game 7 looks like it's going to be on its way.
Oh, stealth, nice pass, good awareness again, Ole Miss. Their passing game and defense, I think, has been a strength tonight. Could be something that they employ to try and break down Concord again, as it wasn't quite as effective finding one another in their orange half once Concord went on their run and looked so dominant at the tail end of Game 6. We're going to a 7th here. Ole Miss trying to put the national champions down early on here, but it has not panned out. The Mountain Lions just keep popping back up, and look at that scoreboard. CMOS, what a time to come alive.
My goodness. Scoring 5 goals for 9 shots. That's impressive. That's a good shot percentage. I don't care who you are. That is going to get the job done. But with that being said, when you have a player who is hitting their shots, just feed them the ball. And that's exactly what Concord did. Crispy and Helix, both with a combined 5 assists, just feeding CMOS, just giving them the ball. And that right there is a game-winning strategy as old as sports itself. When somebody's hitting, just let them take the shots. And that's exactly what Concord did. Well done. Truly phenomenal game. And I got to tell you, I am definitely delighted with how this turned out. This is exactly what I wanted to see. And you know what? You can already tell. I'm like grinning ear to ear. This is why I come to the NECC, for games like this.
Absolutely. Concord will not die, and Ole Miss will keep track of the number. They've conceded 5 straight goals to Concord, and if that run continues into Game 7, Concord find an early lead, then the Rebels are in a really, really dangerous spot. They have to keep their wits about them, because this is a long series, and I know they're used to competing against top-level players like the team across from them at the other end of the field, but this is a tough spot to be in, letting 5 straight in your nets when they've been playing really good defense. Ole Miss has throughout this series. Just at times they've let slip, and Concord in 2 of their 3 wins have scored 5 goals. So if that offense of Concord gets going again, Ole Miss need fast responses.
Yeah, they got to contest these way earlier, and C-Money able to get there very quickly, wasting no time in Game 7. Ole Miss strike first.
That's what I'm talking about right there. C-Money steps up big time for Ole Miss, ends the Concord run, and has, I'm sure, infused the comms with some electricity to now work off of the rest of Game 7. The old dog's still got a lot of tricks up his sleeve, but Helix, one of the younger dogs in the scene, will set up Crispy now, but Ole Miss defend nicely, at least that first attempt on their net.
And again, just keep in mind, Ole Miss had an early lead in Game 6. Not only that, but they had an early 3-goal lead, and Concord was still able to answer back. So it's not just about, being able to get the goal on the board and take a lead. It's about being able to hold it. How much stamina do you have to hold off this spectacular offense that is Concord?
So far, Ole Miss seem reinvigorated after that start here in Game 7 as they're playing defense off their goal line. It's upfield and on ball. They're looking confident again. And I thought that was for sure a goal. About to make me eat my words, but Lunar gets back in the nick of time. Nothing in his boost tank, but he still makes a massive save to keep Ole Miss in front. Concord are hunting that equalizer and gotten close a couple of times now. It's like a matter of time before they score their first. Just a matter as well of if Ole Miss can add to their lead first.
Well, this time they're letting a lot more time tick off the clock than in game number 6. Again, they're getting up and into the faces of Concord before they can really establish a lot of these pass plays that they managed to get there in the previous game. Now, just over 3 minutes to go, Ole Miss are not hesitating. They are jumping at every ball, able to come through with a shot. Crispy, though, is there for the save.
There's a good boost grab by Concord in their own corner as well. Forced Ole Miss to play back on this, as there were 2 players in the Rebels' corner, so they couldn't keep possession. Now Concord can build with C-Money using a whole lot of boost and a whole lot of nowhere. Concord are out 50ing Ole Miss in their own corner. This is getting precarious, though Helix low in the boost tank as well. Just takes a light 50-50 there at the sideline, but it's one enough to invite Crispy and CMOS into the play. And Concord find a shot, but Ole Miss are well structured defensively at the moment, and that is a very good sign.
And Concord, throughout the series, they have been deadly with the physical play, with the bumps and the demos. So I wouldn't be surprised if their first goal here to equalize comes off of a physical play, be it a bump or a demo. And there's the bump right there, and Crispy able to send it home. That right there, that's Concord.
It's Old Faithful for Concord, and that's the shot that goes in. That's what a bump on the lone third man will get you. That's the kind of shot you see go in your Platt lobbies at Soka, off the sidewall and in.
Hey, what Platt? What rank do you think I am? What you mean, Platt lobbies? Well, I will admit to you, I am completely and utterly washed, but I am a 7-time GC, my friend.
All right, that's better than me. I've never touched it myself. Game off one time, but I am mega washed as well. We've got that in common, so that's why we're in the booth right now enjoying this Game 7. And apparently, across Division 1 of the NECC tonight, Game 7's in the air. 3 of the 4 upper bracket quarterfinals went to Game 7. St. Clair won theirs. Northwood and Fisher are fighting and on Champions Field at this point in their set. And well, poor Oklahoma Christian didn't get the memo. They got swept by Davenport.
Oh no. The delivery on that was phenomenal, by the way. They didn't get the memo. They got swept. That just adds a little extra flavor to that one. As we continue on and look at this, oh my goodness. If it wasn't coming down to the wire before, it definitely is now. Just over a minute remaining, still tied 1-1. Hold the phone. Okay, Lunar was looking rather dangerous there for the moment, but Concord on the defense still holds strong. A minute remaining between us and a potential end to this series.
And we're still fighting over possession here at the midfield third. Though CMOS is taken out. Crispy gets up into the air before C-Money can take him out as well. That's good awareness on the goal line of Concord. And they will keep us tied. 40 seconds left. Overtime definitely looming over the horizon unless someone can step up big time and find themselves a late go-ahead goal in Game 7. Ole Miss attempting to break through that Concord corner, but Helix takes over. The homegrown talent of Concord. He's trying to solo this ball in. He makes contact with C-Money, but Lunar gets back in time to make a big save, and Ole Miss will try and clear. 15 seconds to go now. Neither side in a great position to score, but Helix finds himself with an open backboard. Still, though, that shot is cut down.
And now still in the danger. Oh. The tip is there. The follow-up shot is on, but the save comes through. Ball still alive. As you can see, CMOS able to get that tip, and now we have OT. Friends, folks at home, remember, Ole Miss is 2 for 2 in overtime. What could be the last OT today? Will C-Money be able to clutch again for Ole Miss?
He's got both of those OT winners. We'll see if it's C-Money again or somebody else. Either way, Ole Miss had that first match point, and Concord fought back to get Game 7. Let's see if their efforts were in vain. CMOS on the ball, has an open net. Stealth is back, though, and he makes an initial save, but gets dunked by CMOS. These guys are the national champions for a reason. They know how to win.
What happened here? Was it the interference off the bump play that threw Stealth off? Because Stealth, again, was the defensive juggernaut for Ole Miss, and it looks like, in Concord, they just went after them. I mean, they went like a beeline straight for Stealth to try and knock them out of the way, and they did, and they were able to recover and, try to avoid one, but they couldn't avoid the dunk by CMOS. And regardless of how this game turned out, Ole Miss, I don't think should be hanging their heads low. That was a absolute insane series. Probably game of the night, I can imagine. I'm comfortable in saying that because that is a tough act to follow.
Game 7 overtime is exactly what that series deserved, and I think that last goal was more CMOS outplaying the defense than anyone making a mistake, because that was a wonderful bump in the midfield to set up Stealth in that 1v1, and then CMOS won it himself. Really well done by Concord. Fought back from an 0-2 deficit, then a 3-2 deficit in that best of 7, and had to go to overtime in Game 7 to win it, but these guys know how to win, and Concord will advance to play St. Clair Green in the upper bracket semifinals.
What an absolute series. My goodness. That series just made my entire night. That was just so much fun to watch. But guess what? We still have more Rocket League to go. It is not over. We got more. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back with more Rocket League right here on the NECC. We'll be right back.
Oh man, this is incredible.
Oh, wow.
Huh?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Hey man, grab me a meat stick. I think I can reach it if I just a little more. Just let me go a little. I can't. Just a little more. I almost got it. Careful! Oh God! No, come on, just reach. Reach.
Just
Grab my hand. I can't hold. Grab my hand.
give me the meat stick. This other hand's closer. The one with the stick is. Oh.
Way too many faces in the crowd, but I think that I see you. One too many days got me changing up the way that I need you. Now we're both at a bar, acting like it's not hard, trying to feel something different. Talk to somebody new, kinda wish it was you, kinda numb to the feeling. Now that you're gone, they say time should heal, but it's been too long. Couple months and I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to. I can't seem to. Not that you're gone, I can't seem to. I can't seem to. Laying on my floor thinking about all the things that we've been through. From 24/7 to pretending like I never met you. No, it's all for the best, cause I know we're a mess every time we're together. Going out of my mind, and I wish I could lie, tell you that it gets better. Now that you're gone, they say time should heal, but it's been too long. Couple months where I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to. I can't seem to. I can't seem to. Now that you're gone, they say time should heal, but it's been too long. Couple months and I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to.
Well, hello and a welcome for the last time tonight to the NECC for some Rocket League. Once again, I am Captain Atoka, joined on the desk by Mr. Bepic. Bepic, we just wrapped up one doozy of a series, and now we have just one more to go.
Yeah, we're going back down to Division 3 for this one. Close off the night, a first seed versus an 8 seed here, as NIU Black, the B team of Northern Illinois, is coming in here after a pretty good group stage, 6-1 overall, topped their region, and so they're taking on UGA Black, the A team of Georgia. So both teams have black as their color, but one's the A team, one's the B team. Go figure. That's collegiate esports for you.
Yep, definitely is. And on the side of NIU, we have Hawk, Sappy, and Storm. For UGA, we got Meared, Koopa Troopa, and Lunetta. As we get ready to head into our final series of the evening, Bepic, any thoughts going on into this one?
I think NIU, and this is obvious, they're the top seed coming into this, should be the better team. I think top to bottom, they are the more consistent because this is a rebuilding semester for Georgia, as Koopa Troopa's got a lot of experience under his belt, but this UGA roster has gone through so much roster turmoil in the last year. I think they've had like actually 10 or 11 iterations of the A team with a lot of people coming in to try and play around DJ TJ formerly, and then TJ had enough, so he stepped down and does coach this team, helping them at certain points throughout the season. But Koopa Troopa is the guy leading the charge here. He's a senior this year, going to be a super senior next year as well, so he's got some time to develop this team. But Meard and Lunetta are really getting their first A team reps this spring, so it's really been up and down for Georgia, whereas NIU, complete opposite. This is a steady squad here. Been competing together for a little while now. They play in Great Lakes CRL, pretty good results there. They know how to get wins together, and I would expect them to be the more consistent of the two teams tonight.
Yep, we can't wait to get into this one. Like I said, this series has a tough act to follow because our previous series, I mean, my goodness, it doesn't get much better than that. Game 7 OT between Concord and Ole Miss for our last game. So these two teams, they're going to be coming in to try and put on just as much of a show going forward as we get our players ready and get ready to launch game number 1. And if I'm not mistaken, now that we're back into Division 3, this should be a best of 5. We're going back to the best of 5s. D1 was the best of 7. So again, if I'm not mistaken, we're going back to that best of 5. So a little bit more pressure on because you're not allotted as many losses as you would be. A little bit less forgiving in the BO5s.
Oh, you gotta start strong and stay consistent. UGA moved in here, 4-3 record overall in their group, and that was I think it was a tiebreaker that got them in here. It was a 3-way tie between them, UAH, and my mind's blanking already. I had the third team in my head, but I've lost it either way. 3-way tie. What you need to know. So close shave for the Bulldogs getting into the postseason in the first place. We'll see if they can make the most of it, but already a miss has put Meard in a terribly awkward spot where Meard, no boost, has to 2v1 essentially, and Hawk and Storm take full advantage.
Yep, that they do. Wasting no time here. Just a little over 30 seconds, and already NIU are on the board first, finding that opening and being able to get the first goal on the board. And now UGA gonna have to try and get some offense going. Again, still plenty of time. That first goal only took about 30 seconds.
Still have to get their offense going here before it's too late. That's a close miss there on the near side. Lunetta a little bit awkward, and now colliding with Meard. It's getting weird already for the Bulldogs, and this has been their issue all throughout this season, just tripping over each other. Not quite sure how to play at this pace, but Koopa Troopa way up ahead downfield. Found one big demo, forced a miss out of the next man up for NIU, and has equalized with the help of Lunetta.
And again, I mean, Koopa Troopa taking advantage there of the physicality, and that's what I like to see. We already know after watching Concord, you know, I'm just a big fan of the bumps and the demos, and at the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do to get the ball into the back of the net, and just like that, we have ourselves a tie ball game, 1-1.
Out of the corner, Storm can shoot this, and Will just misses. Well, it might have been a goal. I think they could have snuck that in there between the defenders and the near post, but do clang it off the woodwork, and so UGA are afforded themselves a counter, though it is slow, and Hawk takes over, full-on boost, challenged by Koopa Troopa early on. So UGA are at the very least breaking up these NIU black chances and not letting them get too much space in that offensive zone. And on the flip side, Lunetta is creating space. Good solo effort. They'll pivot on this ball, but NIU black find themselves a good stop.
And they're not stopping either. I mean, you could already see it's going to be Sappy to try and get that one to go, but Storm is the one to finish, and now NIU Black are going to get their lead back.
Nice pass again. It's the teamwork for NIU so far that have gotten themselves their advantages. And I mean, they had a 2v1 earlier. This one was a full strength counterattack, but it's a simple infield pass keeps UGA back on their goal line. They can't challenge immediately, and it's an easy finish for the Huskies. So Hawk right back to it. Passing play to Sappy. It's working for NIU Black right now, and they're going to keep pressing that issue.
That they are, and they're trying to once again push that midfield line. As you can see, Hawk is going to drip this one out towards the side, but it gets beat out. UGA Black now on the offensive. Big demo there to open some things up as Meard gets blocked in the process, and now it looks like NIU Black are just kind of, I guess, getting bunched up there in the corner. They have to spread out a little, and finally the clear does come through.
And Meard connects with Lunetta there in the corner. So UGA creating some space with passes of their own, but NIU do attack quickly, though. Koopa Troopa beats a pair of players and tried to bump Sappy as well, and if Meard grabs that 100 boost at the midfield line, then maybe UGA can find themselves a quick counter. Instead, though, in cruel Rocket League fashion, they nearly concede, though KT is there like Superman on the Bulldogs goal line.
That they are, but my goodness, all these demos. I'm loving it right now. The fireworks are popping here in game number 1. It's just been demo after demo, and I'm all here for it. Meanwhile, Storm trying to get something to go here, and it feels as though, you know, the last 2 attempts from NIU Black shoulda, woulda, coulda gone in, and I guess it's the 3rd time being the charm, as finally another will fall for NIU Black.
It's a nice double that kind of makes KT awkward there in the corner, and Coop turns, misreads the ball, and then that's the final domino for UGA's back line. And so, again, it's kind of an easy finish for NIU. Players in the way, but their shooting has been on point tonight, and that's the consistency I was talking about. If they can keep that going, keep their shooting consistency on the board, then they could run away with this. But UGA have now found some scrappy goals to keep themselves alive.
Yep, those are the best ones, the scrappy ones. Those are fun. I enjoy those. I enjoy watching them, and I enjoy playing them. UGA managed to strike back, and now they are within 1. Still a lead, though, for NIU. And 1:30 now for UGA to try and equalize.
Oh, what a play! Hawk from the skies, as their name might suggest, takes over off that sidewall, fields the kickoff perfectly, and uses their flip to beat everybody on the Bulldogs side. 4-2.
I was about to say, you can tell someone's been running their training packs, right? Like, you know, they went and ran that training pack until they literally could do that blindfolded. That, at that point, that type of, you know, fundamental play just becomes muscle memory.
And that's less muscle memory, just a good finishing touch out of Storm. A light tap, kisses the ball off the crossbar, and UGA were not back to defend this well. 5-2, and this is more like what you'd expect with a first seed taking on an 8 seed in round 1 of playoffs, and 5-2, a sizable advantage that still needs to be closed out.
I mean, 3 goals in just over a minute. I mean, it's definitely possible, just not very probable. Storm now trying to do a little bit of solo mechanics, not able to get past the defense there. Big pinch to send this one to the other side of the pitch. Storm now has 50 boosts to work with, gets the touch, sends it back down, looking for a teammate. Not going to be able to find them, but lucky for them, Sappy was there and in the net to get that save.
Near shot is fielded by Sappy, sent right at them. You know, they weren't defending the net. That was a near post position for the NIU Black player. But either way, it works out. UGA haven't found much purchase in offense this game. Despite spending 50% of it in that NIU Black half, they've only found 4 shots to the Huskies' 10. And that is a stark difference at this level. And for UGA, they will need to improve a little bit offensively. The playmaking is there. It's the defense, not quite at the same level to match. So 10 seconds left. Game 1 is all NIU Blacks.
That was definitely seeming that way, and a wonderful performance coming from the blue team on this one as they managed to end the game, at least it seems, to end the game with a 3-goal spread. That's the way you want to start off the series, as they will get the first win on the board, and only 2 more are needed to take the dub. And let's take a look at the stats here. I mean, again, the stats tell the tale, Bepic.
They do, yeah. A lot more offensive productivity from the NIU Black side. They had more control of the ball as well, as field domination was slightly in their favor, but actual ball possession was a lot more on their side. About 60% of the time, they were the team that last touched the ball. And so that demonstrates a lot more control. So you couple that with field domination, you've got a difficult offense to stop. And NIU Black, I mean, 5 goals on their 11 shots. That's a pretty good conversion rate.
Yeah, and you know what? The demos definitely didn't help, going into that one. I mean, my goodness, UGA left and right was just getting demolished. Now, don't get me wrong, UGA, they managed to get a couple of punches in there as well. But, towards the end, in the later game, it just felt like UGA was just getting, demolition derbied. They were just lighting up like a Christmas tree. And you know what? That is fun for me. Maybe not so much fun for them, but on this side of the booth, yeah, it was a lot of fun.
And so we see if they can adapt to that, as that's the trick. See if you can figure out how NIU Black are playing here and stop that going forward. Already, though, a demo about 3 seconds into game 2. I think we've already got our answer.
Yep, there we go. I mean, you really just kind of, I mean, I don't want to, I hate to say it, but yeah, sometimes you just got to, get out the way. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, if you're constantly getting demoed, you're constantly getting bumped, you just got to watch out, for the person that is heading towards you. But with that being said, easier said than done. Sappy now putting a shot on, and that one's just going to fall right on in within the first 29.
And this is what you're hoping will leave UGA Rocket League as they get more competitive reps, as Lunetta, capable of making that save. They had all the time in the world, and sometimes that is too much time for one man. And so, whiff on the goal line, ends up conceding a very free goal to NIU Black, and they'll take that every day of the week. They just have to kind of keep pressure on UGA's defense right now, and it seems like the Bulldogs will make enough mistakes for NIU Black to win this series, and that has to change.
Well, let's see if they can make the changes in real time, as that one is going to fall. Koopa Troopa to send that one home, tying up the scoreboard here 1-1. And honestly, that was a pretty good 50 by Lunetta. I mean, right in front of the net.
Yeah, definitely. Way to make up for a defensive mistake on the other end of the field. And Koopa Troopa moves in and perfectly finishes that play off with pace. Didn't allow NIU Black to recover it all. And so, minute in, we are still tied. The UGA is showing some of their bites on the offensive side. Not just Bark here, and Mir wants to bite again, but that one misses just off the crossbar, and the painful ding is exacerbated by Hawks scoring on the other end. That's a fast transition forward.
Yeah, those are my favorite plays, honestly, is the transition plays, taking that defense, turning it into offense, the fast breaks. Those are just what I like to watch so much. But with that being said, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like that's the first Octane I've seen on the pitch tonight, coming on the side of UGA Black.
I have not been tracking the card choices tonight, unfortunately, so I have no idea if you're right or wrong. But yeah, Octane on the field.
Yeah, I like to pay attention to the cars. I have fun with it, because we've been, Bepic, you and I, we've been in this game for a very long time. We have seen car metas come and go. Just a friendly reminder, there was a point in time in Rocket League, even in the RLCS, where the Batmobile was a meta vehicle.
Still meta, don't get me wrong. We've seen Batmobiles recently in CRL as well. I think it was... Ooh, okay, I'm not even trying to remember who was rocking it, but there was at 1.4 Batmobiles in one lobby in the last CRL Open. So still very much meta. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. But what I'm liking here at the moment, team with the Octane, UGA, is starting to flip the field a little bit more. They've got more control of this one offensively. A lot of transitions back and forth, but UGA are at the helm of a good number of them. And though NIU Black still hold a lead that has just grown, it's looking better for the Bulldogs, but these Huskies are still in control overall.
Yeah, this was a whoopsie doodle. No other way to say it. Unfortunately, Koopa Troopa just was in the wrong place at the wrong time. The ball bounced right off their dome piece and set up NIU Black for the goal. And now they have themselves a 2-goal cushion right before the half.
Ooh, almost 3. It's an open net miss. But we'll forgive NIU Black because they have scored a good bit outside of that opportunity. Still, though, half a game of Rocket League left. UGA have shown that they can score quickly, score in transition. So NIU Black have to be careful defensively, but still have to keep their foot on the gas pedal now, as letting off will invite the Bulldogs back into this one, and Lunetta almost got one right there, as that was an awkward last player back situation for Hawk, but they got the job done.
And this time, at least, you know, we're seeing a little bit more of the UGA presence inside of NIU territory, as that was a huge save, but it won't be enough to keep out Koopa Troopa as they manage to get the second goal to go for UGA Black.
Nice pass by Coop, and he's kind of rewarded for it. Good karma immediately after connecting with his teammate, as a double commit on the NIU Black goal line sets him up for an easy finish. And with 2 minutes left, UGA find themselves in a similar position as game one, where they were able to claw what was a 2-goal lead back down to just a single goal advantage for NIU Black. And then after that, the Huskies went on a run to close things out 5-2. But if Georgia can change things around this series, it's a whole lot more interesting on the back end. But NIU Black almost got themselves a fourth and gave us some deja vu.
And again, it was a great play. I mean, from start to finish, you know, they managed to do everything that they needed to do. It was just the defense from UGA really stepped up in a major way and nearly let one go there. But luckily, Lunetta was there on the recovery. And now Hawk looking for a goal, and they will find one.
That is a snipe. Hawk, again, has been a sharpshooter for NIU Black all night. Look at this dump-off pass from Sappy, and there are players in position to stop that, and Coop's good on the goal line, so you had to place that perfectly. And Hawk did. Nail the top right corner of the net, and now deja vu is starting all over again, and I'm sure that's painful for UGA, though they might be ending it quickly. 4-3 now. Koopa Troopa has a hat trick, and his Bulldogs back in the race.
Hey, you said it already. You know, UGA, they can score quickly. And what's more quick than a kickoff goal? I mean, UGA not allowing that 2-goal cushion to last very long. They are back within one with 1 minute and 11 seconds remaining.
And Coop's got a chance now off kickoff as he takes control, but NIU Black is all the way back on their back wall, and even though the first challenge misses, Sappy is right there on the goal line to find a big clear downfield, coupled with a save as well. Pad those stats. And then NIU Black find a clear to maybe add to their lead with, but UGA really are fighting back nicely. That's a passing play center that Storm was prepared for. Meard couldn't get that shot on target, and at that back wall, NIU Black were prepared to transition quickly. They find their stop and start it the other way, though that's another save by UGA to keep themselves alive.
Just over 30 left to go. NIU Black getting closer and closer to that net. KT, though, gives them a little breathing room with that big demo. And now you can see this one going the other way. Hawk able to take control, but good placement there from Lunetta in order to answer that one. And they are really trying to force this one in, but the defense from NIU Black is just not letting anything by.
Out into space. This should be an easy finisher for NIU Black as UGA try to keep the ball up, and Hawk's forced to, but he's got control, so should be able to get to ground, and he does. So, NIU Black take a 2-0 series advantage, but these have been labored efforts. UGA has shown that they can fight for 3 or 4 good minutes in this game, but NIU Black this whole time have been the more consistent of the two teams. That was the narrative coming into this series, and I think the Huskies have kept that intact with another solid performance offensively, hitting half their shots.
Yep, and again, it's really not that much of a difference. I mean, you're looking at a 1-goal game. I mean, the shot count is the same. If my math serves correctly, 8 shots to 8. Yes, it seems about right. And you know, the assists are the same. 3 assists for NIU, 3 assists, you know, going for UGA. It was just that 1 goal that was the difference maker. And really, you have to ask yourself, if you're UGA, you know, with a stat line that close, that similar, you know, what are the changes that you need to make? Like, Bepic, if you were UGA right now, what changes would you make to avoid the 3-0 sweep?
If I was a genie for UGA, or if I found a genie and I was on UGA, I would wish to keep my composure in defense more. The double commits, the awkward rotations that leave a player in no man's land, that force extra expenditures of boost, that's been killing them. I mean, they've conceded 5 goals in game 1, 4 goals in game 2 for a total of 9, and that hurts them because their offense is talented enough to win games here, and they just keep conceding goals they don't need to be conceding. I think back to that Luneta whiff on their goal line to open things up for NIU Black. And here, off kickoff, Meard is up so early for that ball. He takes himself out of position, and then Koopa Troopa's coming back in from the midfield line, cuts off Meard there on the back line, and no one ends up getting the read. It's an easy punish for NIU Black, and those are the defensive miscues that are haunting the Bulldogs.
Have an early 1-goal lead now for NIU Black as Meard is going to get a 50-50 out towards the side. Storm with an odd backflip, flips bad. But with that being said, still managed to hold off the aggression, and an unfortunate, what could have been some miscommunication, caused two players from UGA to bump into one another, and that definitely could have or should have been a goal. But an unfortunate bump there between teammates is going to keep this lead at 1-0 in favor of NIU.
And those miscues aren't easily ironed out. I'm sure Coop wishes he had a genie here to help figure things out, but it has to happen in real time on the pitch against an NIU Black team that have stayed as solid as they come. Good 50s, well-layered attacks, and now Sappy and Hawk together set up Storm for a shot that goes crossbar, and Storm is stopped by Koopa Troopa. That was a wonderful setup and would-be finish, if not for the heroics of the UGA captain.
Now that one was looking rather deadly, and now Storm once again trying to take control here. Big demo as everybody converges on the ball there, and right now it just seems to be like NIU playing a bit of keep away. You know, they're getting possession of the ball, and even when they have to drop back in their own side, they are really just limiting the amount of chances UGA has for a shot. And once again, NIU Black find themselves on the board.
Oh, and Meard is backwards right there, trying to recover on the goal line. No boost in hand. And it's another awkward-looking defense that is broken apart by NIU Black. Crazy assist right there, getting that ball out of traffic on the near side post at the feet of the next player up for NIU Black. They just keep it rolling, 2-0. Good start into Game 3, and now we're on sweep watch here. UGA have to pull it together now if they're going to stay alive, keep their NECC season going. Otherwise, it's the end of the road.
All right, I gotta ask, we are in sweep watch right now. When does it upgrade to sweep warning?
Probably a minute left if NIU Black are still up by 2. Anything above that, maybe you add 30 seconds to the timer for each goal scored. So if it's a 3-goal lead for NIU Black, 90 seconds, we upgrade. If it's a 4-goal lead, 2 minutes to go, which we are getting close to at the moment. And UGA have flipped the field, but NIU Black's challenge game is so good. That is an open net that Storm takes away. That's a miscue on the Huskies side. I haven't seen a ton of those tonight, but we'll see if that comes back to bite them. NIU Black are kind of playing with house money at this point. Very confident.
I was wondering if you know, they were just trying to goal steer, like just being a little cheeky on that one, because it 100% was going in. So that might have been just a little bit of cheekiness coming from NIU Black on that last one.
Well, it won't matter as long as they can play these final 2 minutes solidly. Play good defense against what UGA is attacking with, like Hawk does right there. Big challenge one on the near side post, and it leads to a temporary clear, though UGA aren't giving up space, and in fact, Meard stole a big 100 boost in the NIU Black corner, so they're not operating with a ton of resources on their side. But Sappy was the one player with boost and pushed UGA all the way back to their goal line. And NIU Black can't build off of this, really. I don't have a ton of boost still on their side, but make do with what they've got. It's the name of the game, and the Huskies flip the field.
And again, we're seeing some of that suffocating gameplay that, you know, we've seen in other series, right? Where NIU Black are just like really patrolling that midfield line, not giving UGA a lot of space. Like, don't get me wrong, UGA, they've had a couple of breakout plays, and, you know, they really had opportunities to score, but it was just that. It was only a couple. It hasn't been a lot. And now you can see NIU Black once again trying to turn their defense to offense with the counterattack, and the Storm will strike. That is a third now for NIU Black.
So good. This is not an easy shot. That Storm makes look so simple. Just whipped it on frame. Meard almost got the save, but now too much heat on that one. Gotta get out of the kitchen. 3-0. NIU Black are in commanding position, and we were on the precipice there of upgrading that watch to a warning even without the third goal, but we are definitely in sweep warning territory now at Soka.
Yep, that we are. Less than a minute to go. Koopa Troopa, not a lot of boost to work with there. Has to get rid of the ball. Now Storm again looking for another goal, and another follow-up shot will go on, but it won't go in. And here comes another, and it's just shot after shot. Eventually, one will fall, Bepic.
Yep, and it didn't matter, really. I mean, I know you Black are putting so much pressure on the UGA back line with this offensive that there's not going to be anything left for the Bulldogs to transition into offense and get their one of 3 necessary goals to prolong this series in the next 40 seconds. Just impossible. And so big hat trick for Brandon, called out in chat. I appreciate the help. Storm is Brandon. Has 3 in this game, and Hawk will get on the board as well. Everybody is contributing for NIU Black, and Storm is still chatting right now as NIU Black have this one done and dusted.
Yeah, they do, you know, and, you know, we don't like to call things early, but with 33 seconds left on the clock, you know, I always like to reference, you know, that Rocket League time theory where, you know, within the realm of possibility of things that we have witnessed in Rocket League, you can allot yourself about 10 seconds per goal. We are far beyond that at this point with just 20 seconds remaining. So again, we have went past the realm of probability and now am comfortable in saying that we are at the impossibility of a comeback here.
Well, that'll close it. Big clear backboard for NIU Black. Maybe one for the road for Storm now. Hits the post for good measure. That's the way you want to go out on it. NIU Black will advance to the semifinals of their divisional playoffs in their region with an emphatic 5-0 there in Game 3. I mean, all the way through. Put together 14 goals in 3 games, the Huskies did. That's a wonderful performance. They never really let UGA in that set.
Yeah, and speaking of, it's just been a wonderful performance throughout the night from all of our teams from start to finish. And I got to tell you, this is why I come to the NECC. We have seen some great games played here tonight. And keep in mind, these are just the quarterfinals, so they're going to get even better as we continue on. And speaking of continuing on, let's not forget to continue to thank our wonderful sponsors just for being able to help us put these games on for you. So again, big shout out to G Fuel. You can see it right over Bepic's head. Big shout out to G Fuel. They don't even need an introduction. You know who they are. Use that code there, NECC20. Over there when you purchase your next bit of G Fuel. And also Winslow's Farms right there on top of Bepic's head. Beautiful and nice. You'll love to see Winslow's Farm. Don't forget to fuel your game with Winslow's Farm snack sticks. No mess, no distraction, just bold protein packed flavor to keep you locked in. Whether you're grinding ranked or leading the squad, Winslow's keeps you powered up. Grab a stick, stay in the game, and crush the competition. Winslow's Farm is fuel for gamers and flavor for champions. But with that said, Mr. Bepic, do you got anything else for the folks at home before we sign out for tonight?
For all the NIU fans in chat, shout out to that inaugural Aurora esports tournament that Storm did win. Big reason why Storm is a threat in the esports scene. Always grinding. I love the fan support tonight in the NECC chat. A lot of fans from a lot of the teams that played. And we were treated to some long series, well, one long series and 2 short sweeps. But either way, it was a fun night. Shout out to the NECC for having me on. And shout out to Itsoka for being a wonderful co-caster.
Well, thank you. But with that being said as well, just want to throw out there, if you enjoyed tonight's broadcast, don't worry, there is always more to be had. We got Overwatch 2 tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then we have League of Legends, and we have CVAL as well, Valorant, on Saturday at 3 p.m. EST. They will be running 2 streams, one for the League of Legends. I'm pretty sure Orbital will be there. If you know Orbital, told him Captain said hello. And then, of course, CVAL for Valorant, also being streamed on Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You're not going to want to miss it. But with that being said, that is going to wrap things up for Rocket League here tonight on the NECC. It has been an absolute pleasure, and I bid you all adieu and a fond farewell.
Oh man, this is incredible.
Wow.
Huh?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Hey man, grab me a meat stick. I think I can reach it if I just a little more. Just let me go a little. I can't. Just a little more.